p.m. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here in the evening for our regular city council meeting agenda today. The time is 6 p.m. and notice is hereby given that above call meeting of the governing body of the city of Balcones Heights, Texas will be held on Monday, September 22nd at 2025 at 6 p.m. in the Justice Center located at 3300 Hillcrest Drive, Balcones Heights, Texas 78201, to consider and act upon any lawful subject which may come before said meeting, including, among others, the following items to be discussed and acted upon. Call to order, and we're going to have a recording of the quorum. Mr. Sellers had a personal funeral to attend to, so I've been notified that he will not be here, but we still have a quorum of four of the other members of the council. Councilmember Weaver, Councilmember Eversole, Councilmember Hernandez, and Councilmember Burton, and myself. So we do have a quorum to conduct business, and we will move forward. We will now move into the invocation and pledges of allegiance to the USA and Texas flags. Ms. Weaver?
Oh, Heavenly Father, we are gathered here today to form judgments and make decisions that will affect the lives of those committed to our charge. Please give us wisdom and understanding. Guide our decisions. May they be fair, just, and merciful. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God and indivisible. We will now move into the public comment period. At this time, citizens who have filled out a registration form prior to the start of the meeting may speak on any topic they wish to bring to the attention of the governing body, so long as that topic is not on the agenda for this meeting. During the citizens to be heard section, no council action may take place, and no council discussion or response is required to the speaker. Citizens who wish to speak on a specific agenda item when that item is called for discussion must first fill out a registration form prior to the start of the meeting indicating which agenda item they wish to address. And as stated in the agenda, decorum is required, and a disruptive behavior, including shouting, derogatory statements, or comments may be ruled out of order by the presiding officer. Continuation of this type of behavior could result in the request by the presiding officer that the individual leave the meeting and refuse in order of removal. So thank you for everyone to complying on this particular rule. And we will now move into the public comment period. Madam Hernandez, who is our new city administrator, do we have any comments?
Yes, we have Lamar Gillian for citizens to be heard in item 18.
Okay, so then citizens to be heard, he has up to 3 minutes to address the governing body.
Who does that? Writes in the June 2025 newsletter, let there be no doubt anyone who performs their duties faithfully and with integrity has a place in the future we are building together, and then fires multiple people without cause, citing state law that our state is an at-will state, meaning employee deserves no reason of being fired. Cuts staff and offers a chance to resign and not to be fired if the person signs a non-disclosure agreement. Fires two captains, fire captains, and does not afford department head the chance to pick who to choose, with a better alternative being to cut two junior firemen, bump captains to lieutenant and lieutenants to firemen, then waits outside the firehouse until captains leave the premises. Tells remaining staff not to talk to citizens and previous council members with the threat that there will be zero tolerance. After his election to office, speaks to newly elected council members, not knowing that his other phone is still connected, and says to the effect, now it's time to remove the other rats. Tells citizens and council that he does not use foul language and then shortly afterward in the parking lot near Firestone Station, cusses out Mr. Rudy Flores, who was a candidate for office in the last election. Creates a hostile environment by shouting with department heads and city administrator within ear reach of the employees. Some on the first floor even heard the screaming coming down from the second floor. Loses his council quorum 20 years ago in his first term when 4 members walk out of council chambers after they were sanctioned and warned about decorum, and repeats the same behavior 24 years later, multiple times. In his September mayor's message input to the city newsletter, he applauds all council members except Mr. Sellers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gillian.
We
So,
have Mr.
any
Juan
other-
Lecea.
Okay, Mr. Juan Lecea.
Members of the community, thank you for granting me the opportunity to speak this evening. Mr. Hernandez, I want to take the opportunity to thank you for inviting the citizens to come in and participate and be part of the different boards. I am a little bit thrown back that after that comment was asked for people to come in, 2 members of our boards were asked to resign from their positions. That's not a way to build a community. We had two members that were asked to resign. That is not kosher. Mr. Garza, I'd like to welcome you to the club of the people that have been attacked by the mayor. Among 13 grievances, employees that filed grievances, 4 have been terminated. Several were forced to retire. We're at city administrator number 5 in 16 months. Will you please, members of the council, take a look at what's happening to our city? Little by little, we're chopping down our city. Expenses, one of the things I would like to ask Ms. City Administrator, the agendas, all we see is the literature. There's no attachments. So there's no way for us to see what's going to be discussed. I know there's one item for a fencing estimate. We have no idea what that price is. There's another item for something going on at the mall. Also, there is no information. Is there any way we can get that information? How does that happen?
We'll be putting that on the website.
Which is fine, but like for right now, we don't have any of that literature, any of that information. So just
Order, there's no need to answer back to them at all under citizens to be heard. Under the open meetings rule, we just don't respond.
Thank you. But I would also like just to make it known that we are not, as citizens, not given all the information. We need to be informed. We're just given bullet statements. So members of the council, please remember you are here to represent us, the community, not one individual. I myself, when I was a council member, was bullied, was targeted. Everything that you guys are experiencing, I went through it. It's okay to say no. Remember, you are here for us, the citizens, the members of the community. Thank you.
Much, Mr. Lecea. Okay, do we have any other presentations, Madam Hernandez? Okay, thank you. So now we'll have presentation. I would like to do the introduction of new staff members. We have 2, one we didn't catch in the last meeting. However you'd like to proceed, Chief Cavazos, if you'd like to make the introduction of the new staff member we added today in your department, and then the previous one that we added just recently, Andy.
Thank you, Mayor. We've added 2 new staff members to our department. The first being Mr. Andrew Lundquist. Andy, you
Mr.
wanna
Andrew
go?
Lund, come on up and say hello.
Mr. Mayor, council, hello, how you guys doing? I hope you've been having a good day so far. I'm just glad to be here, glad to provide as much help to the police department as possible. Yeah, I'm just thank you for the opportunity to provide for the community.
Could you provide a little background just on yourself to the council, let them know where you came from and how the chief came about selecting you because of your credentials and your experience?
Absolutely. I've been working in government since roughly 2015. Up until now, I've been, I actually started off in a property room over at the sheriff's office and worked all my way to the it was this technically office assistant, but I was a direct assistant to the constable over at precinct 4. The opportunity came up here to be an executive assistant to help the city and the police department proceed forward. So I took the opportunity to do that. But I have a wide variety of trying to get forms put together that aren't that we don't have yet, and trying to take a little stress off of the officers and handle that side of things. So was that helpful for you
Sure,
guys?
like administrative support. And I think, Chief, you can elaborate a little bit for him. as
So
to
Andy-
why you selected him.
Andy's being a little modest. I picked Andy before for his work ethic and his excellent work skills. Andy is a tremendous help in our department as well as for the city. He handles everything from simple administrative duties all the way up to the workman's comp aspects now, since we are short in our department. Andy has extensive knowledge as well as not just with the documents and administrative aspects, but also the technological aspects of what is transpiring in our city. Andy's work ethic is impeccable. I have to rush him out of the office because he will stay and work way past his duty hours. He also takes stuff home, works to try to complete projects for us, and on the weekends. So I applaud Andy for his work ethic and what he brings to our department and the city.
Great. Welcome to your home, Andy. Glad you've been acclimated.
The next individual that I'd like to acknowledge is our new captain, Captain Michael Moore. Captain Moore comes from the San Antonio Police Department. I have known him for over 30 years, and he brings a tremendous amount of experience with him to this department. Captain Moore.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, citizens of Balcones Heights. My name is Michael Moore. Like Chief Cavazo said, I did 31 years on the San Antonio Police Department, recently retired. Mainly my focus on the department was traffic enforcement or investigations. I was assigned to the DWI unit early on as a patrol officer, regular traffic, detective traffic investigations, got promoted to supervisor sergeant, where I spent a little time at the academy, coordinated training for the entire department. Internal affairs, was there for a little bit, then moved back to my original home, traffic, where I was a supervisor over the highways, motorcycle unit, the commercial motor vehicle unit, and a 4-month stunt with the helicopters as they were doing a transition right before I retired. So that's pretty much my extent of experience on the department. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to serve the citizens of Balcones Heights in any way I can.
Great. Was your wife able to make it?
She's not, she's a teacher grading papers right now,
Ah,
so I guess I'm cooking dinner tonight.
we're looking forward to meeting her soon.
Thank you.
Thank you and welcome to our home and your home.
Thank you, sir.
We look forward to, you're going to bring great things to our city.
Thank you. sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Think that wraps it up, Chief?
Yes, sir. That wraps it up for
Okay,
tonight for the presentation of individuals.
So that's the introduction of new staff. And now we have the Sociedad Cultura or Cultural Hispano-Americana San Antonio Hispanic Trails Cultural Festival. This is their, we've had them here before in the years past. We funded them and helped them present this wonderful event that's presented at Wonderland of Americas. And if you'd like to come up and make a quick presentation, as you did last year, and let's hear your funding request and see how council will respond.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you for having us, Mayor Rodriguez, and also City Council and the citizens of Balcones Heights. It's my pleasure to be here. My name is Naira White, and I am with the Sociedad Cultural Hispanoamericana in San Antonio. The PowerPoint?
Did you have the PowerPoint, Roy? You have it? Okay. And I think I mentioned if you can just fly through it pretty quickly.
Huh?
In terms of time limit, we might not have all that time to go through it all.
Not gonna,
So
I'm
I'll
not
use
gonna,
your
I'm not gonna give you all of it.
We got a pretty loaded agenda tonight.
Okay.
We do want you to give the gist of everything you can.
Okay, so we are, like I said, Sociedad Cultural Hispanoamericana, San Antonio for short is CHASA. We are a nonprofit organization. We were established in 2015. And we started this organization with 4 countries, which was Argentina, Chile, Colombia, and Peru. Our mission statement is to promote the rich diversity of Latin American and Hispanic cultures through dynamic cultural and educational events. We aim to unite and integrate the organizations of countries. Our vision is to build, preserve, and celebrate and recognize Latin American cultures. 15 countries that are members of CHASA, and you can read them there. So you'll know who all are part of us. We have a board of directors, and we have our president, Andres Urbano, our vice president, Lilia Swain, our secretary, Leonor Houston, that is here, our treasurer, and I am the public relations representative. Just a short synopsis. In 2017, we launched our first Hispanic Trail Cultural Festival here in Balcones Heights. And to this day, we're here in Balcones Heights with the citizens of Balcones Heights. This is our 7th annual festival of our Hispanic Trail. And the event was paused, of course, in 2020 and 2021 due to COVID. But, other than that, we've been here since 2017 with you guys. Here are a few slides that shows our rich heritage and mesmerizing folkloric dances. And we can go through those slides just so you can see how beautiful it is and, the different cultures and the different dances. In the last year, we presented 4 scholarships to members of those countries also. The Bexar County Judge, Peter Sakai, and our former Balcones Heights Mayor, Susan De Leon, presented those scholarships to those recipients. CHASA does a lot of different conferences throughout the year and throughout the years, just to educate our community and culture. And, you can go to the next one. Last year we did La Guitarra y la Cumbia and at the UNAM, which they also, participate and sponsor us on different events with, the conferences. And then in 2025, which is this year, we did El Vino y el Ron. And so also educating our community on Los Sabores que nos unen conference, the taste that joins us, bring us together. In 23, we sponsored Katie's High School. We helped them to bring their orchestra here. The kids came in 23 and then they came back again in 24. We also presented a recognition of the in Spain, yeah, we presented a recognition to the Magistrate Queen Sofia at a U.S. debut and the Academy of History of Spain in Houston, Texas. Our president has also been in Spain presenting, talking about the culture, all the different cultures, and also presenting our festival in Spain to the folks that are there. So whether you believe it or not, Balcones Heights is, internationally known. So he takes it all over the place. Then you're going to see that's the one with the Queen. We can move on. Then you're going to see some other engagements that we do with Fort Sam Houston, with the immigration, with the different generals that are here with, and we do recognition and we also participate in some of their events. This shows our engagement in supporting the traveling consulates of different countries that want to come to San Antonio to serve their people, but they don't have anywhere, or they don't have a way to do it. So we help support them, come and talk with their people and bring them up to speed. Last week, Shasa, along with the City of San Antonio Mayor Gina Ortiz, promoted our Hispanic Trail Festival in Balcones Heights at the World Affairs Council in San Antonio. And now we get to the good part. So these are the expenditures of producing this festival. As you can see, a good portion of the sponsorship that we receive from you stays right here in Balcones Heights to help produce this festival. You know, we have the security that is done by the off-duty police officers, and, you know, the marketing and promotion. We have marketing in radio stations. We already did 2 interviews at radio stations here in San Antonio, and it's all promoting the festival and Balcones Heights. We normally go on TV, and we would do a small presentation that also exposes and shows what we're doing with the community. So we infuse money right back into your economy. This year, we will hold our festival on Sunday, October 12th, from 1 to 8 p.m. right here at the Wonderland of the Americas. The festival is a thrilling celebration of rich heritage, captivating music, mesmerizing folkloric dances, and delicious cuisine from 15 Latin American and Hispanic countries. So if you like to eat and you like to taste different foods, we will be there on October 12th on that Sunday. This festival promotes women and minority business vendors, arts and crafts, free community service, and it boosts Wonderland of the Americas businesses, because the people that attend, they go up, you know, to the different businesses and they buy, and, you know, they participate with them. So you ask, you know, why sponsor a festival? And we are, there are compelling reasons why to continue sponsoring our prestigious event. The city of Balcones Heights we make it visible to everybody that, you know, that we listen. We go to different places to present. We go to different, you know, like I said, TV and radio stations, and we present all of this. And the festival also plays a key role in boosting local businesses and tourism. This festival elevates the city reputation and strengthens its association with diversity, inclusivity, and cultural enlightenment. Balcones Heights is prominently featured across social media platforms, flyers, radio, and TV, ensuring your brand reaches a broad audience through multiple channels. We have branded the event with the identity of Balcones Heights. In other words, Balcones Heights is Hispanic Cultural Festival, and the Hispanic Trails Cultural Festival is Balcones Heights. And with this today, we respectfully ask for your sponsorship of $6,000. And I'll entertain any questions you may have.
You have any questions for this event?
Mayor, that would be under
Oh,
action
that's
item.
right. We're
That'll be
actually in the presentation.
That's correct. That'll be under action item number
Okay.
1.
So right now, this is just a presentation, council. She's asked for the amount, so we will move now over to the business items once we finish the consent agenda items. Is there anything else you'd like to present or anything?
No, I would just like to thank you for considering us. And I know last year, Mayor, you were there, and a couple of the city council members were there. I hope you enjoyed it. It's always a blast to see everybody. Thank you. We
Thank
appreciate
very much for
you.
the presentation. So that is the end of this presentation for this particular event. We now will move into the consent agenda item. Mr. Messick, you have the floor, sir, on the finance report. And for those in the crowd, Mr. Messick is our finance director of the city.
Evening, Mayor and Council. We're not ready for that yet, Roy. We're just doing this is a consent
This will
report.
be the
And so,
consent agenda, is
yeah,
correct.
yeah. And so if you all have any questions, otherwise, the budget is running great, about where I would expect it this time of the year as we're drawing down towards the end of the fiscal year. Of course, we're in our last month. This report is for August, but it's about where I would expect it to be.
Let's stick to the consent agenda. Anybody have any questions pertaining to the consent agenda on this particular item on the expenditures?
Well, I was gonna ask, maybe I didn't receive them, but are we supposed to get minutes from the last meeting?
It's a good question.
No minutes on the agenda for approval, so, correct?
I guess you were asking if we have the minutes, where are they?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody have any questions regarding the expenditure report that's attached to the agenda? Floyd yes, Councilman Hernandez?
So are we going over the proposed budget or we're going over last month's?
Last month's finance report for consent. Yes, sir.
Did you want to cover the August 2025 financial report and the investment report as part of the consent agenda? Is it, you have it attached?
Yes, sir. Normally, this report is for you guys. It's consent. And so if you have any questions, I've already said my little spiel. As far as the budget report goes, everything is going great for where we expect to be this time of the year. You have the investment report and the check register if you do have any questions.
So on the check register, I'll entertain any questions on that. And regarding the general fund expenditures, if you want to proceed, it's at the leisure of the council. You can have them present that to you as well. It's at the pleasure of the council. I'll say you. Councilman Burton?
I did get the expenditure and the check register. I didn't have any questions on that.
Okay. Any questions, Councilman Hernandez?
Just a comment. I had questions, but I spoke with Floyd earlier, so my questions are answered.
Answered. Mr. Ebersol? Ms. Weaver? Okay. Anything on the consent agenda at all? I just got a few myself.
Yes, sir.
The jet tying Cameron Sewer Crossroads and Fred, what location was that for 230350? That was, I know it's a camera probe. Nick, would you mind just telling us a little bit where we spent that 230350?
Can you tell me what page that is?
Oh, it's on the second page. Let's see. The first one will have the investment report. The second page, well, let's just say page 1 of the backside of the invoice report. So page 2 would be item number 6856 under jet tying and camera sewer Crossroads in Fredericksburg. Am I assuming that's the Whataburger again? Backup of the Whataburger sewer line?
I'm having trouble finding it. I believe that we did some plumbing work over there off of Hillcrest with a backed up sewer line. And we determined that it was a private line issue. That is the one that I believe you are referring to.
Yeah, and I guess the reason I brought that up was because we've been having a repetitive problem with that.
Yeah.
It's on our end, right?
No, it's not on our end.
But
So
we're
that
paying-
plumber identified that it is on their end.
Okay, and it cost us 2,300 to find that out,
Yes, sir.
basically. Is there
Yes.
any way we can tap that into Whataburger to have them pick up the tap? on that?
I don't think it's Whataburger. If this is the one on Hillcrest, this is Davila Electric, the ones that just moved in here. So they purchased the property. They found out that there were sewage issues from the previous tenant. And we can go back and ask them to reimburse us for the work that we did. But I can look into it.
Politely, just kindly see if they would be receptive to that.
Yeah.
Even, anything that you might want to work out on behalf of the city to save us a little money there. It's
Yeah.
not really our fault.
Yeah, no.
it's on their
I'll
end.
look into it.
And I think during the closing, any of that should have been inspected by the plumber before they closed on that property. So
Yeah.
just check it out, see if that'd be something we could help the city with a little bit. And then there is let's see, where is it at? Page 5. Jazz Fest 2025 meeting. Is that the meeting that our previous employee in community affairs for 80750. Was that like a meeting with Mr. Munoz and some of the others of the Jazz Fest that we spent 807 for that meeting? After the expenses we expended on the Jazz Fest? This was like
I'm sorry.
preliminary
Can you
meeting?
repeat it one more time?
Oh, page 5. 4481, it's like a little close to halfway down, right after PD searches. There's Jazz Fest 2025 meeting. I think this is a
The,
meeting
the only
that,
jazz meeting that I was aware of is the one that Miss Marine had afterwards. And I believe it was with Mr. Ebersol and a few of the Wonderland partners there.
okay, and we
There-
spent
Mayor, there was
807.
no expenses with that meeting, so this would have had to been prior to or meeting to, as they were doing the itinerary or setting the schedule for it. So the meeting that we had afterwards with Ms. Marin and Mr. Eversole, there was no expenses for
So
that.
where was the 80750 spent then?
Now
Because
that
it's
I
being
don't know.
attributed to the Jazz Fest
Yes, it is.
after, post.
No, this was, this would have been prior to
where is it?
coordinating the Jazz
Can
Festival.
we
Yes.
substantiate that? There's nothing that substantiates that purchase.
There will be an invoice with all of these. There's an invoice that's reviewed by the department. And then myself and Ms. Baez when she was here. And so those invoices have been validated. Now, the invoices, of course, you won't see those on the check register. You'll just see the result of the check.
Right, which is 80750.
Mhm.
And I'm just trying to, who authorized that? Because that's post Jazz Fest. We already had-
Well, I mean, the check may have been written after the Jazz Fest, but sometimes the invoices come in afterwards. And so this is probably a lagging LHAPR. I think that's the organization that was helping with the coordination of the event. And so that's probably what this is, that is coming in after the fact.
Respectfully, if I may ask, Mr. Enriquez, you were interim city administrator during that time, correct? You remember that expense, 80750 on the Jazz Fest? For a meeting that Ms. Marin had? Mr. Ebersol, was there food and all kinds of stuff there? None, when you went to that meeting? Was it a reception? Because we had an accounting where everything was accounted for on the Jazz Fest. Itemized, full expense, but this is after, this is post. So that's why it struck me a little weird. All right, well, if you can research that and just bring it to the attention of our new city administrator, and she'll be able to disseminate that to me. Thank you, Mr. Messick. And then, yeah, did you see it? I thought too. If you find it, let me know. I think that was it. One more. I think we're gonna reduce the cost on cell tablets and hotspots with all the stuff we've been doing to turn in that equipment, because we're spending $2,400 on that per month, right? Average?
That's right. There's multiple mobile hotspots
Right.
that we're not using anymore. Those seem to be from like the COVID era when people were
Good.
working from home. Our phones have hotspots, so there's no need of that
Yeah.
right now. So we're
We're gonna
collecting them.
eliminate that as we
Correct.
discussed,
We're
correct?
we're collecting them and we're gonna return them. I believe each monthly are around $36 monthly that
Good.
we're not using.
So there will be
that
saving
we identified.
2449.64 by taking that action. Okay, great. That's all I have, Mr. Messick. Councils, any other questions, any other concerns? Do you want to hear about the actual expenditures in the budget? The financial report, did you want to delve into that, Mr. Messick? Or do you want to wait until we go into the actual item on the agenda for the proposed approval of it?
Mayor, we'll need motion and second for approval of the consent before we can get to the,
Okay,
to that.
I didn't
item.
know if it was packaged all in the same.
No,
so
sir, this is
that's what
just
I was trying to realize.
current year
Okay, great.
for the month of
right.
August.
So do we have a motion entertained on the floor from the council members for approval of the expense report that we have just been provided with?
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the consent item.
You may so, sir. So the motion has been made by Councilman Hernandez. Do we have a second to his motion?
I second the motion.
Councilwoman Weaver has seconded that motion. I'll call for any further discussion if there's any. None from the council member. Let's take the roll call vote. Mr. Burden. Did you have anything that you want to?
I was
Ask
just looking,
about-
because I thought I'd seen that, the Jazz Fest reception is a line item, but I could be mistaken. I have no questions.
Okay, so there's a roll call vote.
Aye.
How do you vote? Aye, okay, Mr. Hernandez,
Yay.
Mr. Ebersol,
Aye.
aye, Ms. Weaver. So that's a 4-0 vote, no nays. Motion carries. We'll move on now. On the agenda, business items. Now we'll move on to the first item of discussion and possible action to approve hot funds for Hispanic Trails Cultural Festival. Here's where we can ask the questions. So let's open it up. Ma'am, would you like to step up again? So you're.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the request for the $6,000.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilman Hernandez. Do we have a second to that
I
motion?
second the motion.
We have a second to that motion. Now let's call for further discussion. Any discussion, any questions?
This is out of hot funds, right? So do we have the money to still do?
Mr. Burton, in our proposed budget for next year, we have $5,000 allotted for this. We can make it 6,000 though.
Okay. Any further discussion, any other questions?
That's not going to affect the Jazz Fest then?
The Music Fest, you mean?
Or excuse me, the
Yeah.
Music Fest, yes.
And so on my part, the only thing is that we have to be very careful on the use of hot funds. And I think we mentioned when the first time we talked, the whole purpose of utilizing hot funds is to put heads in beds, basically. So did you track how many people stayed in our hotel here at the Marriott? I know there was a slight increase, but do you have those figures or numbers that you could share with council, just offhand?
I don't. I thought it was about 10.
Yeah, because you had a lot of out-of-town people from Dallas, Houston. I mean, they were from all over. And I know they stayed because the hotel manager commented on that.
Yeah.
If you could track it a little bit closer
Okay.
to substantiate as you start progressing
Yes.
and then approaching the council, that would work really well to make sure we meet the requirement of that hot funds.
Okay.
Great.
We
So I
will.
think you have approval from the council. So let's go ahead and call the vote if there's no further discussion. Ms. Weaver, how do you say? Aye. Aye. Mr. Weaver, Mr. Eversol?
Aye.
Mr. Hernandez?
Yay.
Mr. Burton?
Okay.
Motion carries 4-0. You've been awarded no nays. You've been awarded 6,000 to continue and progress with the nice venture producing for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks to every one of you for, continue to sponsoring us. We appreciate it.
We look forward to being there, all of us.
All right, let's
Yeah.
go salsa.
Thank you so much. So we move on to the discussion on number 2, discuss and approve nomination of TML Region 7 Director of the TML Board of Directors candidate. This is pretty much just a preliminary inquiry, but they want an individual that we recommend. Attached in your packet were names that were referred by TML, and they just need a representative for District 7. So how does the council say on this item? Any council member intend to be in motion, rather to be recognized to motion? To open up for discussion?
Mayor?
Yes, Councilman
Do-
Burton, you have.
We don't have either one of those here tonight, though.
No, they're not. Most of
They're-
the times they're not here. It's pretty proxy vote is what it is. Same thing with the Bear County appraisal.
I don't have it in my packet, but I remember seeing it on the computer. And there it is.
Yeah. So I have it in my packet here. So the 2 candidates for District 7, Mr. Ed Simics, he's a council member in Live Oak, and Miss Norma Sanchez Stevens, who's a council member in Cibolo. Those are the 2 choices for Region 7.
I mean, both are highly qualified, either one.
Do you entertain a motion as to accept one or the other to begin the process?
I personally don't know either one of these individuals. I've read their bios. Have you met them or?
I do know of Mr. Ed Simics. He's going to be holding a Region 7 meeting out in Fredericksburg, which I will be attending, and it was offered to the rest of the council members. And that's, I met him at the time we had a get together at Cibolo at the last Region 7 meeting last year in 2024. Both are pretty good candidates. Just all depends how you feel. I think it's, it won't be detrimental or it would be in any way whatsoever advantageous in one of the two. Is just having a representative from TML represent this region in District 7. But we do have a contact in case we need to discuss with either one of them any of the needs in our district, we can approach them. And I think either one of those two candidates would be receptive to helping anyone in the city. Council, any suggestions, anybody?
Mayor, I suggest we back Norma Sanchez.
Okay. Councilman Hernandez has made a motion to accept Norma Sanchez Stevens as a council member from Cibolo as a candidate for TML Region 7 Director. Do I have a second to Mr. Hernandez's?
I second it.
Councilwoman Weaver has made a second. Let's call for any discussion, further discussion. Council members? Concerns? Okay, let's go ahead and call the roll call vote on it. Mr. Burton, how do we vote?
Aye.
Mr. Hernandez?
Yay.
Mr. Ebersol?
Aye.
Ms. Weaver?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. 4, no nays, motion carries. Ms. Norma Sanchez is our candidate. I'll check it off here and we'll hand it over to Roy, and he'll take care of it. Okay, the next item on the agenda now, we'll move right along, would be item number 3. Discuss and approve a 2026 Bear County appraisal. Let me rephrase. A 2026 Bear Appraisal District Board of Director nominee. Last year, you had selected a member of that board, and this is the same thing as District 7. And where's that nominee?
Mayor,
Yes,
this is just to select, to nominate 2 candidates.
okay,
Later on, I think it will be October or closer to December that they will send a list of candidates.
okay. So is this an action item that we're going to take to just go with the formal process of the nomination phase?
Yes.
Okay, council, so all we need is a vote, just so we can continue the process, and then they will provide the nominees to us at a later date, prior to December 31st, correct?
Mayor, this is also an opportunity if the city would like to include one of you as a nominee for the other cities and jurisdictions to vote for.
Good.
So this is an opportunity if anyone is interested in possibly being a nominee to the 2026 Bear Appraisal District Board.
Okay. Is any of the council members interested that you would like to be nominated to this board? It's a great board. I mean, it's the one that sets the tax rates for property.
Like to nominate Jack Burton.
Okay. Okay. So we have a motion on the floor to nominate Mayor Pro Temp Jack Burton. Do we have a second to that nomination recommendation?
I second it.
Okay, Ms. Weaver has seconded. And I'll call for any further discussion on the matter. None take place. Jack, you're it. So if no other discussion is taking place on this item, Mr. Burton, how do you vote? Put you on
I
the spot.
abstain. I abstain.
Okay, Mr. Hernandez,
Yay.
Mr. Ebersol,
Aye.
Ms. Weaver.
Yay.
We have 3 votes for yay and 1 abstain. The motion carries.
If they vote me in, I'll go buy a lotto ticket.
All right, we're taking care of those items there. Let's go ahead and move on now to appoint 2 members. Item number 4, discussion and possible action to appoint Kyle Grady as a member and Audrey Etzenberger as alternate to the Board of Adjustments. These are boards that we've had very difficult times filling in for people to serve. And we have interested individuals that would like to get on that board to add a different perspective to that board. So how does the council say on this item on the agenda? Do we have a motion to entertain? Who would like to be recognized?
I, I,
Councilman Burton, go right ahead.
I was gonna say, let's get Kyle up there
Okay.
and,
All right, Mr. Grady, would you like to approach and say hello and introduce yourself? We have your bio here. Shows that you're a technical support specialist for Dillard's at one time, and you were a UTSA Student Tutoring Center, teacher assistant, Neiman Marcus Store, Macy's, and SAC Student Tutoring Center. You have an infectious curiosity towards figuring out the inner workings of any social or technological system with professional communication for coworkers and clients. You're able to ask hard questions and critically observe with reassurance towards coworkers, clients, or citizens for better public relations. From 6 years' experience in retail sales industry, enthusiastic in social engagement with customer service assistance with any new technology and bridging the gap between different perspectives. And you're committed towards career growth, improvement, and professional skills development. Does that encapsulate it for you?
In short, I am obsessed. Yes.
Yeah. Great. Now let me let you a couple of words, and you'd like to address the council in your own manner.
Of course. I was born and raised in Balcony Heights for 32 years. I live at 237 Concord. I was literally the only youngest buck in a retired community. I've seen a lot of people come and go. Some people moved, other people passed away. It was really sad, but yes, I want to contribute to the community, and I want to simply grow my prospects and experience. So, in the point where I want to get into politics later on. Yes. Yes, I want to contribute my specialty to the community and just basically usher in the new generation here. And hopefully many people can retire here as well.
Right. He came to me back in 2024 with an interest in what he just said. What I told him, I said, spend some time, about a year, observing, come to the meetings, start learning what it's all about. I gave him some information on planning and zoning, Board of Adjustments, the master plan, pretty much everything he needed to know of how our city runs. And I said, study it for a year. You feel then the same way, come back and then approach the city council. We ended up putting him on as an alternate. He never really had to serve. And now that the opportunity is to come in for a replacement on a board, he is now fully committed to come on board. And so I'm so glad that you are here with us and you offer a new generational approach and vision. And that's what we're looking for.
Of course. I keep it traditional though.
Of course.
Yes.
Your parents have been in the city many, many years. You live on Concord, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Basically, in a nutshell, that's what it is, Council. Any questions from me? Anybody?
Mayor, may I be recognized?
Of course.
I
Councilman.
don't have any questions, but I do have a comment. I have had the pleasure of speaking with this young man in quite extent, and he's very smart. He's very deep. So you have my vote. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any other further questions? Great. And I will say this about you. I commend you. I asked you, because what we're trying to do is build help for our community, care for our neighbors, lend a hand when we see one. And we had a member of the council that there had been a complaint about a box she had in the front. Ms. Weaver could not do it physically. And so I had told the person that had a concern about this box. It'd been up there for a while. He wanted it removed. And instead of looking to point fingers or anything, we rolled up our sleeves. I called Mr. Grady. I asked for his father if he could help us. They both volunteered. We went over there on a weekend and we spent pretty much half a day, and I spent the whole day emptying out that Codex box. We were able to meet the requirements of what the individual had a concern about that box, took care of it, resolved the issue between the neighbors, and made everybody come together, and we're all helping each other. And so we actually put our actions there to work, and Mr. Grady and his father helped. That just showed me in volumes. He didn't think twice when I asked him, would you help us? He just went over there and helped. And so thank you for that day. I'm sure Ms. Weaver is very.
I appreciate it
very,
very,
appreciative of
very
that.
much.
I'm glad, ma'am. Thank you.
That's how we're going to continue to help each other as neighbors and work towards helping us all. Again,
Self-reliance.
Mr. Grady.
Yes.
Look forward to having you.
My apologies. My family always practiced self-reliance, relying on your own skills and aptitude to get things done. If something doesn't work, well, get your hands in there.
Thank you, sir, very much. Now, Miss Audrey, is she still here? Would you like to come up? No, not, well, we're going to do them both at the same time, one at a time.
My apologies.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Miss.
Okay, my official name is Adrienne Insenberger, but everyone calls me Audrey. My parents lived here in Balcones Heights since 1979, Mr. and Mrs. Gomez on Glen Arm. I was 19 years old, so I grew up here. I left, I got married and left when I was 25. I've always heard about, and my parents, they were elderly. Anytime there's an emergency, the fire department, the police were always always there to help them. And since then, my parents, have passed away, and now the property I'm the new owner of the property. So I wanted to get involved somehow or other and what's going on here in Balcones Heights. So I worked for IRS for 38 years, and I was an administrative officer. And also I was, when we had emergencies, I became an incident commander. I was part of HR, so I helped a lot of employees. And, I feel like I was so involved there. And after I retired, I'm like, well, we have this house that we're working on, my parents' house now. And plus we have the lots next door. So we're planning on building. Eventually it's coming. I have a lot of work to do, but I also wanted to get involved here. And I believe in the community. This is a small community. My parents loved it. I want to come and get my feet wet and know what's going on here and be involved. And that's why, I put in for this alternate position to get started here. And I believe in helping each other and the community, knowing about the people in the community. Because, my parents were here for a long time. A lot of people knew them. Johnny knew them, and Marm lived across the street. But, I feel like there could be more here, especially if there's elders here and living in the community, and even just this community alone, it's not very big, and I'm just want to get my feet wet and get more involved.
Great. Well, thank you very much for volunteering and applying. So what we'll do we have to take each individual? Can we do them together?
You can do them together. It depends on the motion. If the motion
Okay.
is together, they can be taken together.
Okay. So my recommendation to the council would be, if you so move and you accept both of these members, you would word and verbalize that you would want to take action to appoint Kyle Grady as member and Ms. Audrey Eitzenberger as alternate to the Board of Adjustments. And that would be the motion that you would entertain, and I would so consider that motion.
I move to make a motion, we accept Kyle Grady to the Board of Adjustments and Audrey Eisenberger as an alternate to the Board of Adjustments.
Okay. Do we have a second to that motion from anyone?
Here, I second that motion.
Okay, Councilman Hernandez has seconded that motion. Now I'll call for any discussion, any questions for any of the candidates. Okay, if there's no further discussion, let's take a vote. Ms. Weaver, how do you vote?
Aye.
All right, Mr. Eversole?
Aye.
Mr. Hernandez?
Yay.
Mr. Burke? Okay, motion carries 4-0. There are no nays. Thank you very much. We look forward to working along with you when the time comes. Thank you. Congratulations and welcome.
Thank you all.
Okay, number 5, discussion and possible action to appoint Eloy Vigoria Figueroa. Is that correct? Figueroa. Mr. Eloy Figueroa to Planning and Zoning Commission. Mr. Figueroa, you have the podium and introduce yourself and we'll move from there.
My name's Eloy Figueroa. We moved in San Antonio in 1965. I know this area very well. I've seen it develop. My sister owns a home down the street here. So does my brother. I used to live in these apartments next to these new ones. I apologize, I forget the name. Now I live at 520 Gentleman. I worked recently, about a year ago, with a company that, if you know the new car wash off of Fredericksburg, there used to be some hotels there or motels. And so my friend, the boss, he bought the ones in the back by Gentleman. And so we remodeled them. I rented them, I remodeled them, I live in them. So everywhere I lived, I've always been involved with the community. I used to be Citizens on Patrol. I want to maybe develop that in this community. I have a lot of friends that live here. I'm an Army veteran, 6 years. I spent in Germany and Fort Riley, Kansas. Thank you. I also joined the Air Force Reserve in East Kelly, the Red Horse, an engineering battalion, which is no longer there. I have family, sons and daughters, stepdaughters, stepsons. Right now I'm working I've been in the blueprinting business for 25, 30 years. I know a lot of architects, engineers, general contractors, CAD designers. I used to sell wide format printers for architects, copiers. I tried selling it to Kathy, the lady that used to be but I guess she left. But anyway, I know the city, I love the city. I always wanted to be mayor of San Antonio, but hasn't happened yet. I am 71 years old, but I feel like I'm 51. So I was looking at the 2040 plan that was sent to me today, and it's 164 pages, but I'm at page 23, and I wanted to look at all 164 pages. And I have a vision for Balcones Heights. I want to be involved. I want to see the future. I know I have a lot of years left in me, and so I want to see this place grow. And I asked for your appointment.
Great. And I think you say Balcones Heights is a wonderful, quiet community to live and raise a family. We'd like to see more business make an investment in our city. I know working with my colleagues, we can make a difference. I'm a senior citizen, so always have been in my neighborhoods that I have lived. And so thank you for your volunteerism. We look forward to working with you. I would also like to introduce you to the Vice Commander of the American Legion on Fredericksburg Road. He is also the president of the veterans, Balcones Heights veterans here. I encourage you to talk to him.
Okay.
It'll be an event. I would say free haircut, but they're having free haircuts and they'll have a luncheon as well. So
I actually was appointed. I have the appointment for the organization.
Great.
But I've never
Good.
knocked at the door. Maybe I'll
Well,
stop by.
perhaps you can help us with a veteran, and we have another gentleman right behind him. He also is a veteran of ours, and he's involved very much with the veterans. So that's another source for you, Eddie. Great. Well, thank you very
I'm
much.
also
Eloy.
proud of being a citizen. I was born in Mexico, but we immigrated when I was 3 months old. So I've been in this country 71 years. And so I'm very proud of serving for my country and being a citizen. In 2020, I was at the downtown and I was actually Channel 29, I think, they did a story on me, and I just want to be involved here.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to having you, and let's see how council votes. So council, do we have an entertainment of a motion for this appointee?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, Councilman Hernandez has made a motion to approve Eloy for the position. We have a second. Mr. Burton has seconded that motion. Call for any further discussions, questions? Yes, sir, Councilman Hernandez, go ahead.
Eloy, I was just gonna say, I know that our chief of police is looking for help out in the neighborhoods for, block captains and stuff like that. So maybe y'all can make that connection.
I talked to the mayor about that. Recently, my girlfriend, which we're gonna get married soon, somebody busted her back window, and so called the city and the police department. They came over and very responsive. And so I want to get involved with Citizens on Patrol. Maybe if we can't get it started, I started getting my flashlight and at least looking at my area and keeping an eye out. So maybe if everybody can do the same, we will be safer. When I first took over these apartments at 520, and I welcome you to, when you pass by, look at them. They're older. They were built when the Wonderland Mall was built. I forget what year. And we had a lot of not bad people. They just had bad choices that they made. And so we kind of cleaned up. It's more of a family place now. So,
Great.
so I would like to get involved with Mr. Cavazos.
Okay, great. Again, thank you so much. So we have a motion on the floor. We have a second. Now let's go ahead and call for a vote. Council Member Weaver, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Eversole,
Aye.
Mr. Hernandez,
Yay.
Mr. Burton.
Yay.
The motion carries. All 4 yays, no nays, and the motion carries. Ms. Weaver, did you?
I just want to say those apartments that he's in charge of right now are very beautiful. They're very spacious. I've heard nothing but compliments on them since you've taken over.
I think we did a great job
I think y'all did
fixing
too.
them.
It
Those
looks
little
nice.
bungalows.
Yeah. Oh, wow. When they built the first $1 million school. Yeah. Jefferson was the first $1 million school built in San Antonio. Here. Yep, back then. Oh, wow. Well, we're so glad to have you. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Look forward to working with you. All right, and this is just a matter of formalities as the bylaws in the Economic Development Corporation allow for this. So discussion and possible action item number 6, to reappoint myself, Johnny Rodriguez, as ex officio director and Jeremy Jacob as director to the Economic Development Corporation. We were unable to take care of this item in the last council meeting, so it's just a matter of formalities. Council, what say you? We have a motion on the floor.
Make a motion to approve both.
Okay, can you read it out just so you can cover both?
Yes. Make a motion to approve Johnny Rodriguez as ex officio director and Jeremy Jacob, who owns Float, by the way, to the Economic Development Corporation.
Okay, we have a motion by the floor by Mr. Mayor Pro Tem Burton. Do we have a second to that motion?
I second.
Okay, Ms. Weaver, second that motion. Call for any further discussion, any questions? Okay, let's move right on down with the vote. Mr. Burton, how do you vote?
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Hernandez, how do you vote?
Yay.
Mr. Eversole, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Weaver, how do you vote? Okay, motion carries 4, no nays. Motion carries right along, and we're done with that item. So number 7, City Council will conduct a public hearing on the proposed annual operating budget for fiscal year 2025, 2026. Mr. Messick, now you've got the complete floor.
We
Carry us
have,
through.
Mayor,
Yes.
we have Mr. Juan Lecea, the sign up to speak on number
Okay.
7 and 12.
All right. He's got 3 minutes on both items. Go ahead and start the clock as soon as he comes up. No, we'll have to go in at the time of the item on the agenda, sir. So please just go ahead and comply with the item that you have and you want to speak with it. It's up to the item on number 7. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the blind opportunity to speak on an item that we have no information on. I think it's absurd that you give us an opportunity to speak on something that we have no idea what's to be said. The only item that I want to make sure that we cover on the budget is that we continue to have, not continue, that we have adequate police patrolling. I know as of now we have 4 administrative positions. I want to make sure that we're not taking patrol positions and making them administrative positions. Our officers have been short for a long time. That's the one thing that I want to make sure, that public safety is not reduced in any way, shape, or form. Thank you.
Would you like to respond, Chief? You can discuss it in this item because it's a line item.
Mr.
For
Lecea,
Citizens to be heard.
Mr. Lecea, I appreciate your comment and I'm totally on board with you. None of the positions that have been created are taking positions from the patrol field. The patrol officers will be fully staffed as before.
How many positions are going to be on patrol?
We're adding 4.
We're adding 4 to patrol, but
Patrol.
all 3 shifts, 2 shifts? How many people on one particular shift?
So
How many
I won't
officers
get-
we?
I won't get into the details of how I'm going to move my manpower, but they're getting 4 additional.
Okay, so at any given time, we will have 4 officers. We don't have to worry about their safety.
I didn't say that.
And that's what I'm asking for, that we don't jeopardize the safety of our officers. We already had 1 officer get shot. And I want to make sure that our first responders are very well taken care of, that our positions that they're taken care of, they have backup right away and not rely on adjoining municipalities to help them.
Well, I appreciate that more than what they did.
Thank you. And I look forward to seeing it. And if I can, I'd love to meet with you and just to see how that's going to happen.
For sure.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Lecea. Okay, if we have no further members that want to speak, Mr. Messick, you have the floor.
Mayor, you need to close the public hearing
Okay.
before we go to the next item.
We haven't opened the public.
Oh, I thought he had opened a public hearing. That's why he called Councilman.
Yeah, this is for the public.
Yeah, I had call number 7. City
Well,
Council will conduct
Hold on.
a public hearing on the proposed.
Mr. Lecea spoke on item 7, which is the public hearing.
Okay, that's what he signed up for.
Right. So he spoke on the public hearing.
Okay, so you want to officially close it, is what you're saying?
Unless there's no one else who wants to speak on
Okay,
that item,
I don't think anyone else signed up,
Signed up.
correct?
then you need to close the public hearing and go to the next
So the
item.
time is 7:08 PM. We will now close the public hearing. And we will now move to item number 8. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. So that he can make the presentation on the budget.
Okay. Consider an action to adopt an ordinance approving the budget for fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025 and ending September 30th, 2026, and other matters in connection therewith. Mr. Messick, you have the floor, sir.
Well, good evening, Mayor and Council. It's been a long summer of deliberation and budget workshops, but tonight we're ready to approve your FY26 proposed budget. We have 2 public hearings tonight. One is on the budget, and after this public hearing, we'll have the motion to approve that, and then we'll go into the next public hearing, which will be on the tax rate. And there'll be 2 motions for that one. The handouts that you have tonight consist of the slides that we have up, your line item budget, personnel complement, holiday schedules, which had been given out earlier in the budget process. There's no change to that. Your purchasing policy and investment policy as well was handed out earlier in the summer. We're voting on that. There's no change to that either. Okay, so we start each budget with a tax statement. If you could go back one, Roy, thank you. And so this budget will raise more property taxes than last year's budget by $47,451. This budget will be in your, or this statement will be on your budget book as well. And that $47,451 means that we're collecting that much more in property taxes this year. As usual, we spend most of our time when we talk about the budget with our general fund, and that's because it is the city's largest and most versatile fund. Of course, every year we do present a general fund budget that is balanced, and this year is no exception. We are balanced at revenues equal expenses of $5,709,000. This does keep us with a 3-year budget reserves in the general fund. And there is a $200,000 contingency in it, as we've had all summer.
And it's actually a little bit more, but you have that funds in other departments, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Just to go over some, the most recent summary of budget changes, mostly along the personnel lines, as you can read there. We did have 3 fire positions that were removed from the personnel roster, 3 administrative positions, 1 police lieutenant, and we've since added 3 police positions, and 1 administrative assistant position was added. We increased transfers out of the general fund into other funds, and all of this without changing the tax rate, which remains the same, 0.604. And please jump in anytime you have a question. A summary of the personnel changes that were made. I've gone ahead and summarized that for you. With the savings in personnel removals, removing staff COLA, removing staff steps, et cetera, is a savings of $825,000. With the increases, adding those 4 positions was roughly $61,000, giving us a net savings of $465,000. And more of the same. This is how we allocated those expenses. So with that savings, we did increase the police department's operational budget by $118,000. It was recognized that we had further need for more training, weapons, and tactical equipment within the police force, and so we increased that budget there. We did add to the transfers out that we were making to the economic incentive fund to incentivize businesses in the city. So that transfer out went from $50,000 to $200,000. Same for the streets. It was a $10,000 transfer out. We increased that by $90,000. So that's $100,000 going out to the streets to replenish the streets fund, which we haven't made a contribution to in a couple of years. We added $50,000 for park expenses, and that was included in your general fund and the public works department. We did add $50,000 to the council department for the marquee sign that council agreed with last time, and some other budget tweaks there for the rest of it. And so that's an accounting of the $464,000 of savings. Just the general slides that you've seen before, reflecting the new numbers. We still have that good Pac-Man pattern there. Roughly with a budget, you want to see about 1/3 of your budget with sales taxes, 1/3 with property taxes, and 1/3 of other expenses. Again, just the top number has changed. We still have the $200,000 contingency there. Personnel cost, of course, did go down as reflected in the earlier slides. Here we break out our personnel cost by funds. Personnel cost is spread out over 4 funds, the majority of which being in your general fund. Your second largest fund is your crime control district. You have funds there as well. Your third largest fund is your hotel fund, and you can see the expenses there. So the total expenses, total payroll for FY26 is down $630,000 from last year, and it's $4,747,000. Total personnel costs, again, the $4.7 million, and how it breaks down. Public service, your police, fire, and safety are going to be the bulk of that, about 79%, 80% of your total personnel costs. And let's talk about the city debt for a little bit. We've been building up to FY27 for a few years now. And FY27, we project to begin work on the Hillcrest Drive reconstruction project, if all goes well. And so with that, we've been stepping down the debt payments. This year, we got done with the Vivian Street project payment. Next year, we will be done with the fire truck note. And so all that savings is accumulating in our contingency. So that way in FY27, when we go to repay the debt, we'll be in a good place for that. And we're on a good projectile for that right now. Just look at your capital fund. So again, your capital fund is funded through transfers in. Every year we do a sweep for the general fund. We keep 3 months of fund balance in the general fund, and then we sweep out the remainder to the capital fund. That amount changes every year, but that's a good source of revenue for the capital fund. We also have, in the past, we've been transferring monies from other funds into the capital fund, again, gearing up for the Hillcrest Drive reconstruction project. This year, as you can see under your street projects, Crestview Phase 2 and Hillcrest Drive are your biggest drivers there in the capital fund this year. There is a $20,000 in there for the fire department for station renovations. Now your capital fund, of course, it fluctuates every year. The past couple of years, we've had a surplus. This year, we have a deficit, as you can see, of $542,000. Next year, if we go forward with issuing the CO for Hillcrest, then you could have a $4 or $5 million surplus there. So the thing to keep in mind with the capital fund is it fluctuates every year according to the projects and according to the revenue that comes in. As we said, your second largest fund is your crime control district. 1/3 of your sales tax revenue every year goes into the district. The other 2/3 goes into the general fund. This year, 42% of all total police costs go to the fund. In essence, we're balancing out this fund in order to relieve pressure in the general fund. So the more salaries or expenses that we can put in here, the easier it is on the general fund. And your hotel occupancy, of course, it's balanced. It's your third largest fund. It does include $22,500 for the music festival, and now $6,000 that was approved tonight will go in there as well. So the music festival, we also have $10,000 in the general fund for that as well. So we're pretty well covered for that festival next year. Economic Development Corporation. Okay, so here's your largest budget concern, obviously, going forward. And you guys are making great strides at this to reduce this deficit. There's deficit spending here. There will be every year as long as there's no revenue coming in from the partnership. So it's a $437,000 deficit. $400,000 of it we know we're going to expense on paying back the loans, $100,000 each quarter. There's some other $37,000 has been budgeted for possible expenses like legal, travel and training and whatnot.
If I may interrupt real
Yes, sir.
quickly, Mr. Messick, and so this is an ongoing problem, I guess, from 22 that we were saddled with to try to resolve, in which no distributions from the city's involvement in getting us into a partnership to the tune of $5.4 million, which we are now using and having to pay back with taxpayer dollars to repay just the interest on that loan. We are in serious negotiations right now to hopefully get the city out of that once and for all, to find a favorable solution for us. But it is one of the biggest albatrosses and one of the biggest challenges in which the city had to face, this administration had to face in the beginning of our administration in 24. That was as a result of just a very poor decision on the city to put us in that position. And so we've worked very hard. We are now at the cusp of that, getting out of that. And hopefully once that happens, the city will be sailing in very good terms. So we're working very hard on that. I just wanted to point that out because it is one of the biggest albatrosses that is over the city, the neck of the city. that was very poor in decision-making to do, but we're gonna make lemonade out of lemons. So, thank you, Mr. Messick. Go right ahead.
Mayor, may I be recognized?
Yes, sir, Mr. Hernandez.
So not just was this, I'm going to say, a very tough decision financially, but probably more important or even worse was after we purchased the mall, we had no, I'm going to say, guidelines or boundaries in place on how the mall and the city were going to work together as far as different procedures and guidelines. And so for the last several years, the mall management has just pretty much just been coming to us asking for money at the last minute for various different projects, repairs, expenses, and no boundaries have been in place. And so now with this, I'm going to say, forensic audit that we've had, we've actually already started the process, and we're, I'm going to say, doing really well as far as getting boundaries in place. And I think we see the light at the end of the tunnel. So thank you.
Sir. And just so the public knows, we took immediate decisive action because this is one of the things we promised the community, that we would fix this problem that was not caused by us, but it was carrying a tremendous burden on the city. And that on top of with salaries, high salaries, employees, it was just an overabundance. We were carrying a $900 and something thousand deficit every year that was not going away. And so we took what the previous administration didn't do, and that was decisive action. We called a forensic audit from the inception of when the deal was done to its present state. And we discovered many things that should have been discovered way before the negotiations to even enter into this particular transaction. And so, again, we've taken this bull by the horns, and we are now working towards a very positive solution. Very hard to get this resolved. And it will be for the benefit of the citizens of Balcones Heights, for we have that financial relief for you very soon. So I would like to commend council for taking the courage, the knowledge, the fortitude to hire the professionals we did, to put in place so that we could get a forensic evaluation of really what that asset is worth and how it was being managed. And so now we have a much clearer picture of what we're dealing with in terms of what our value of that asset is, in terms of being a partner in that transaction, which we didn't have before, and it should have been done before that transaction ever took place. But we're not going to move towards backwards, we're moving forward. So again, Mr. Messick, thank you. And council, thank you again very much for that decision that you made.
Mayor, I would also recognize Mr. Enriquez for his efforts in all of this. Having worked with him, he's
Stand up.
been a great help for the city.
You were instrumental. He is a professor at UTSA that I brought in to help me trying to solve this mess. He is an attorney at law, and he chairs the criminal justice division as well in urban studies as well. And so he has a vast amount of experience in cities, unlike what people have said in the past that don't know anything about him. Very well experienced. We would not be here today if it wasn't for Mr. Enriquez helping us understand and navigate this very difficult problem that we've had. But thank you again, council. Thank you, Mr. Enriquez. Thank you, Mr. Messick, for that recognition.
And so finally, our last slide, we talk about the total budget deficit. And again, I know we see a big deficit at the bottom, and that's kind of scary, but I'll always start at the top. Your general fund, as I've been saying all summer, it's balanced. It's your biggest fund. It's your most important and most versatile fund. Other funds, we have surpluses in, especially in our enterprise funds, which is your sewer and stormwater funds. Your capital fund, as I've you alluded to earlier, you can pretty much disregard that because that's going to go up or down every year. And so what you're really looking at, as we had just discussed, is what's going on in the Economic Development Corporation. So that $437,000 is the budget concern, and it's been addressed as the mayor so said. So
that's the only thing that's paying just on the interest alone of that 5.4 million that the city took out to buy a partnership in that mall and having no distributions to us at all. So the city taxpayer dollars that y'all been bleeding the city is to the tune of $437,000 a year. It's actually $100,000, roughly $500 every 3 months that is coming out of taxpayer dollars that has been going on since that transaction took place. And we're changing that. Thank you, Mr. Messick.
yes, sir. And that concludes my presentation. I'll be glad to take any questions that you might have before we go into the motion.
Council, do you have any questions for Mr. Messick? Any questions?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the annual budget of the city of Balcony Heights for fiscal year beginning October 1, 2025 and ending September 30th, 2026.
Excellent. Do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
Mr. Burton has seconded that motion. Let's call for any further discussion. Does anyone have any other questions? Anything that you need to know about it now? Okay. Mr. Burton, how do you vote?
Yay.
Mr. Hernandez, how do you vote?
Yay.
Mr. Ebersol, how do you vote?
Yay.
Ms. Weaver, how do you vote?
Yay.
So we have 4 yay to adopt the annual budget of City of Balcony Heights for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025, and ending September 30th, 2026. There is no nays to that, so the motion carries. Congratulations, council. Okay, we have now moving on to item number 8.
9.
Yes, excuse me, 9, forgive me. 9, City Council conduct a public hearing regarding the 2025 ad valorem tax rate. Mr. Messick. Anybody?
I don't think anyone signed up for
Sign
it.
up to speak on that?
So you may close. Oh,
Okay,
so you may close the public hearing and go to actually the adoption of the ad valorem tax. rate.
okay, the time is 7:27 PM. We have now, since no other ones have signed up for this, we will close the meeting at 7:27 PM from the open public hearing. And we'll now move to item number 10. Consider an action to adopt an ordinance by record vote to approve ad valorem tax rate for 2025 tax year. Mr. Messick?
Okay, go back. I'm sorry, Roy. We'll go through the presentation. Okay. Yeah, one more forward, please. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. Nothing has changed on these slides. It's the same thing that you've heard all summer, but we'll just go through it real quickly for the residents. With the tax, we start out with our definitions. The two big ones that you need to know is your taxable value, and that's the appraised value that the county sets every year, and your tax rate. And that is made up of 2 components, your INS and your M&O portion. INS goes to pay any tax notes or whatever debt the city has, and the M&O portion goes to the general fund. Historic values, you get a historical look at it here. We did go down a little bit from last year, a slight dip of from 360 the year before, and it's following market trends and economic conditions primarily. So your voter approval rate is your ceiling that you have to look at every year. Anything above that rate there would require voter approval. We're far from it. Our proposed rate is even lower than the no new revenue rate, so that's good. The revenue that's required of this budget, the $116,000 is the debt for the fire truck. You divide that big $355 million number into that and times it by something or another, and you get 3 cents basically. And so that's 3 cents of your 64 cents tax rate. The rest goes into your general fund, and that's 0.57 pennies for an overall tax rate of 0.604. Levy by property taxes, we have the commercial, the multifamily, and the residential. As you can see, their commercial property valuations remained about the same as they did last year. Multifamily took a big hit. They're down $9 million over the valuations from last year. And the residential property saw about $1 million increase over last year. Average home is something that's provided for the county as well, so that the average home can get an idea of what their tax bill is going to be this year compared to last year. So the average home went up 3.8%. Obviously, the average bill went up 3.8% with it, or $45. And that's easy because last year and this year, we both had the same tax rate. So that's a good apples to apples comparison. Your taxing entities, the city has about 1/5 or about 20% control over the total tax bills. We've shown this before, no change to that. All these other entities have a bigger sway over your tax bill. And our tax rate comparison that we show all the time as well. And so this represents, for a small city with a full suite of public safety services such as police, fire, and dispatch, we're a little bit higher up on the curve. Folks, that's all I have. I'd be glad to entertain your questions.
Mayor,
Yes,
I'd like to make a motion
will you move?
to adopt a levying of ad valorem tax of 0.604 for every $100 of property valuation for the support of the city government of City Baconia Heights, approving the separate components of such tax rate for maintenance and operations and for debt service.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Hernandez. Do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
Councilman Burton has seconded that motion. Call for any further discussion? I would just like to say that I would like to commend this council for doing your homework, for really working on the budget, and to respond to the citizens of Balcones Heights that you did not have to raise taxes at all. You've kept the same tax rate, and I think you should be commended for that because of all the hard work you did. With the budget cuts we've made have really substantially helped us maintain that on behalf of the taxpayers. So in true form, you have provided taxation with representation, and I commend each and every one of you for doing that. Okay, we have a motion on the floor, correct? We had discussion. Now let's take the roll call. Ms. Weaver?
Aye.
Mr. Eversole?
Aye.
Mr. Hernandez?
Yay.
Mr. Burton?
Yay.
We have a 4-0 vote, no nays, motion carries. The adopted rate stays the same for the taxpayer.
And we have one more motion after
Okay.
that, I believe. Unless Mr. Hernandez is doing a good job reading.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to ratify the approved tax rate, which will raise more total property taxes than last year's budget by $45,451 as reflected in the adopted 2025-2026 fiscal year budget.
And just for clarification, Mr. Hernandez, let the citizens know that the 45,451 is an increase in revenue, not an increase in tax. Just to clarify that.
I second.
Okay, Molly, now second that motion. Call for any further discussion? None? All right, let's go ahead and call the vote. Mr. Burton?
Aye.
Mr. Hernandez?
Okay.
Mr. Eversole?
Aye.
Ms. Weaver?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. There are no nay votes. Thank you, council, again, very much. Okay, Mr. Messick, you don't have anything else on that?
No, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. We are now on item number 12. This is again a matter of formalities, but if you have any questions, the item is reading as discussion and possible action to approve contract negotiations for P3 Markets Phase 2 as approved and recommended by the EDC board. Just a quick little history. What this is this is where we have gotten to the point to where the first phase has positioned the city in a very favorable light to be able to manage the asset now at the Wonderland of the Americas, to get a more clarified position of that audit report. And when the council and the EDC got together, the recommendation came for Phase 1. Council approved Phase 1, and they were in step increases of 2. This is the second phase that will seal and close the final audit stage of that asset. And there will be a lot more information presented to the council. Mr. Enriquez, if you'd like to come forward and give us a little remuneration of that, please. Mr. Enriquez is the Economic Development Chairman of the board.
Yes, Mayor. I just wanted to bring a couple things to your attention as well as at the direction of the consultant and P3. Recall that as part of the negotiations is that the city would be reimbursed by the other partners for any expenses that we've had to encumber as a result of everything that we've gone into. Now, that's not a guarantee that you're going to get. This isn't like you just present a bill and that you get the money or what have you. But at the moment at which, we'll just call it this event, whatever this event is, whether it's refinancing or selling or whatever, that the city would be reimbursed for all the expenses that you've had to incur as a result of, keeping everybody to their agreement.
Good. That's a good point for council to know that your investment in this audit has value to it in turn of the city. Okay, Council.
Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract negotiation for P3 Markets,
Okay.
Phase 2 as approved and recommended by the EDC.
Councilman Hernandez has made a motion to approve. Do we have a second to that motion?
I second it.
Councilman Eversole, a second to that motion. Let's go ahead and call for any further discussion, questions. Anyone?
Mayor, may I be
Councilman Hernandez?
recognized? I like to say that I'd like to admit that I actually voted against the original P3 Markets proposal because I thought it was an expense that was I'm going to say unjustified. I thought it was a little too high. But after I've seen all the data and the analysis and the recommendations on how we can manage this asset, I see how invaluable it was. So I just want to, say I do recommend moving forward with this.
Thank you, Councilman Hernandez. Do we have any other comments from the board, from the council? Okay, let's go ahead and take a roll call vote. Ms. Weaver, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Eversole, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Hernandez, how do you vote?
Yay.
Mr. Burton, how do you vote?
Yay.
Council votes 4-0, no nays. The motion carries. We will now be moving into phase 2. So let Mr. Juan Saldana know to proceed, and we'll be looking forward to the results of that particular audit evaluation. Item number 13, discussion and possible action regarding building maintenance. Chief Roger Cavazos, our Chief of Police, has a presentation for this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Besides being Chief of Police, I'm also in charge of the building here. So luckily I have a little experience in real estate and dealing with commercial and rebuilding and repairs of structures. So one of the major problems that presented itself during the first inspection of this building was the HVAC system. The HVAC system it was in tremendous need of repair. We had leakage throughout the entire building, to include here in the council chambers. We put out a bid, request for a bid, had 3 companies come in, each one of them giving us a different solution to the problem. Bills were ranging anywhere from the high 20s all the way down to roughly about $13,000. The bid we finally went with was the $13,000 one, which proved to be the solution to the problem. There was a mini split that was frozen and not operating properly. There was a compressor that was out. There was a blower motor that was also not operating properly, and there was a loss of freon and leaks. The company came in, repaired all the items, and now I think we have noticed a difference. The actual AC unit is working well in the building. So thanks to them, we saved roughly anywhere from $7,000 to $15,000 on the repair. So at this point, though, we need to consider the maintenance of the system. There had been probably no maintenance for several years in this building to keep it up to par. The building is a very nice building as long as we maintain it, and it will last us for years. The maintenance contract that was offered on this for the annual maintenance hit upwards of $20,000, which is a very expensive maintenance agreement, in my opinion, for something that we could do as needed, either quarterly or biannually, have a company come in and do an assessment of the system and see what needs to be repaired. I would also recommend that we get with our maintenance staff, figure out where all the filters are, find out what size they are, and have our maintenance staff routinely replace the filters as recommended by the filter that we purchase. Because we can get filters that are 3 months, 6 months, a year. Some of them are as extensive as high quality filters of 2 years. So I think that'd be a considerable amount of reduction in expense for the maintenance. And that we do, in my opinion, a biannually as the seasons change, have somebody come in and update and take a look at the system.
Chief Cavazos, I have a question for you. So I know going through previous, I'm going to say monthly budgets, I've seen bills for maintenance for the HVAC system. Was the maintenance not being done?
I don't believe it was. The HVAC system was in need of tremendous repair. So I cannot speak to what those were or what they did at that time, but I can tell you the repairs that were needed were extensive during this process.
And how long did this look like it's been, I'm going to say, neglected?
I'd say at least over 2 or 3 year period.
Okay, thank you.
So if you all are okay with that, I'm not going to pursue the maintenance agreement. I would recommend that we go ahead and do a semi-annual repair and assessment of the system. Every 6 months, have it looked at change of seasons.
Chief, would you like this as an action item then? The approval of the council to move forward on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What language, I guess, would be considered for this? Would be the action regarding building maintenance as stated by the chief, where he would like to move forward to eliminate the current building maintenance contract that we have. Is that correct? What is it that you're actually looking for the council to approve?
So we don't, to my knowledge, have an existing maintenance agreement on the HVAC system. What I propose, instead of entering into an annual maintenance agreement where they come out every month or every quarter, I propose that we do it as needed on a change of season. So twice a year, we have the system evaluated and any maintenance done. And according to the filters that we purchase, have our maintenance go ahead and change those filters, would be a tremendous reduction in expense.
Okay. Direction from our city administrator. Do you see any problem with that, or would you concur with that and we move forward with it?
Yes, I think it will be good to have them done twice a year,
Okay.
maintenance repair.
Action item, so the language would be as such as what?
Well, Mayor, in checking with Floyd, Floyd says that this is budgeted, so
He can just move it.
so he can move forward with it since he is in charge of the building. He can decide, as long as it's within the budget, to move forward with what he's proposing.
Perfect. So I guess the language would be to approve if you like to move it, to stay within the budget. It would be more practical to utilize that.
You really don't need a motion.
Okay. All right, so then we
So
don't need.
it's
a
in the
motion.
budget and the chief.
He can move forward unilaterally and make an administrative decision on that. Go ahead, Councilman Burton.
And this comes out of M&O, right? Maintenance operations.
Mr. Burton, this would come out of your Crime Control and Prevention Fund, Fund 18.
It's already covered in the budget, so he doesn't really need our approval.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
asking where the.
Yeah, where the funds are coming from.
No,
Is what he's asking. Yeah.
The chief wanted our approval, not you, Jack.
Okay, so we're done with that item. Let's move on to item number 14. Discussion and possible action to improve impound lot RFP issuance. Pretty
Mayor.
simple procedure. He briefed us last council meeting.
Mayor,
Yes.
I'm sorry. There was still some other things that I needed
Oh,
to.
okay, please go right ahead.
My
Chief
apologies.
Cavazos, we're still back on
We're
item
still-
13.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
With reference to the maintenance. There's also an issue with the lights on this building. The exterior parking lot lights are not operational. When you all go out tonight, you'll see that the back lights in the back part of the parking lot are not working. There are also the front lights up in the front on the poles, the decorative lights. Some of them are missing covers, some of them are not operational. We have obtained 2 bids on those. We're looking for the third still to arrive, but that's going to be anywhere from $7,900 to $9,000 to replace those lights, change them from your regular condensing bulb to LEDs, and be sure that the photo cells are working properly for them to turn on and off as needed.
And I think that's going to be paramount once you explain in the other item on the agenda on the security of the actual
Yes.
building itself. Go ahead, Chief.
So, one of the other things that we're looking at is securing the back part of this facility. This is a justice center. It is a police facility, and the back parking area should have secure fencing. What we're looking to do is close off the back parking area, especially where it pertains to the employee parking in the back and our police vehicles. There have already been several incidents where our police units have been vandalized because of the traffic that we get through the back parking lot area and from Hillcrest all the way to the apartment complex. We have put that out for bid. We've had 3 different bids on this, and the bids range all the way up to $178,780 down to $33,240. So with council's approval, I'd like to go with the last bid of $33,240. It is by A+ Affordable Fencing and Repair, and it will be a wrought iron fence, 8 foot tall with electric gates.
Okay, point of order real quick.
Sure.
We're on item 14. You're talking about the actual security fence, item 16.
Oh, I
So it's
apologize.
good, but you jumped over to that. Let's stay on 14. Excuse me,
13.
regarding building
13.
maintenance.
13.
Yeah, 13. Stay on
Okay.
point on that. We'll move into the 16 in a little bit.
My apologies.
That's okay.
The other issue we have, we need to add a couple of more cameras for security purposes to be able to monitor the egress and ingress in the front of the building. That would run a cost of approximately $2,000 to $3,000 for the additional cameras. Plumbing, we did a backflow test, the backflow preventer for the fire suppression system. We were able to get a gentleman to come out and actually perform it for $250, which was a tremendous saving because we had another one that wanted $2,800 to do that test. So we got that done and put our certification or his certification over with the water board, and so we're back in compliance. There is a problem with the main valve to the building for the water. That valve is frozen, and they cannot get that to move. To replace that valve is $2,883. It'd have to be done over the weekend because he has to shut the water off to the building. It'd take about 4 to 5 hours to do that repair.
These are mandatory compliances, correct, Chief?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the
And-
things that have not been done in the past.
Have not, and you would want that valve to be operational in case we had a major water leak.
Does that include the elevator that has not been inspected as well?
That's the next one on my item here.
Go ahead, sir.
The elevator also needs to be inspected. It has not been inspected to show that it's in compliance since October 3rd of 2022. So if we have ever paid attention to claims and liability issues where people have gotten hurt because elevators were not in compliance, that is a big issue. The backup generator, that also needs to be inspected and tested. I have no evidence or any records show that have ever been done. So that generator is very important for public services to keep the dispatch services going and to keep our citizens safe. Then we have other minor interior repairs to the building, paint, some minor roof leaks, not roof leaks, but minor leaks around the windows where water is coming in. So this general maintenance that needs to be done. That'll be it, sir, for the building.
Okay, sir. Do you need action item on this? Is what you're seeking from the council, Chief?
Yes, sir.
What is it that you would like the council to consider approval for?
I'd like approval to go forward, especially for repairs, especially of the the exterior lighting for safety purposes, and to also have the generator tested and the elevators, as
And-
well as getting the water valve repaired.
Do you have a combined cost factor for that?
So the water valve, combined cost factor,
You have all of the repairs you want to make right now, get us in compliance?
I'd say it'd be probably around $15,000 to $17,000.
Council, what say you?
Question for Mr. Messick. Is that something we've already allocated funds for, or is this new funds that we're gonna have to create?
Typically, Mr. Hernandez, this would fall under facility maintenance, and there's been 77,000 approved for these, which I think it could absorb easily enough. So I would say that as it's already been budgeted, I don't know if you want to make a motion.
Yeah.
That's on you
And-
guys.
And then it kind of falls under the city administrator, which she's authorized to make these, I'm gonna say contractual agreements up to 30,000. So I don't think that we need to vote, but correct me if I'm wrong.
I think, again, it's an administrative decision and can be done internally without a vote. Chief, you have the authority internally, just coordinate with the city administrator and everybody's on the same board and we get it taken care of. Get
Beautiful.
us in compliance.
Very good.
Great, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Now we will move on to the impound lot. So we have item number 14, discussion and possible action to improve impound lot RFP issuance. And that is a good plus for the city. Reiterate again what you mentioned in the last meeting, that it's going to be a plus factor for us in bringing in revenue for us, utilizing that strategy.
So the idea is to put out an RFP for our current impound lot. The impound lot currently brings in roughly about $80,000 annually. But that means we still have to maintain it. We have to keep track of the camera systems, which we just spent $5,000 on upgrading the camera systems because they were not working. The concept here is to put out an RFP for a record service to take over the impound lot, paying us a minimum lease agreement for use of that impound lot, but also minimum lease agreement, but a gross lease, depending whichever is higher. If their production exceeds the 80,000, the percentage will get us the higher of the two. And that'll be an annual revenue for the city.
Can we make that 100,000 or more, that lease? Like, I'd like
Sure.
to make a profit more than what we're making now.
Oh, most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely. I would probably guesstimate if you had a good tow truck company in there, they're going to make $200,000 to $300,000
Yeah.
with taking vehicles in and out. We will not give up total control, meaning that we need to have a secure lot for our evidence vehicles and any evidence that we need to impound. So we'll keep a row specifically for police use, but the rest will be subjected to the use of the tow truck company. They will manage the auctions. We can also put in there to get a percentage of the proceeds from the auctions as well, but they will manage all the releases and keep it in TDLR compliance.
Mr. Burton?
So the releases would be on, not like call an officer to dispatch and then go over there and release a vehicle anymore. We free up
We'll free
an
that up, sir.
officer for patrol.
That'll be totally responsibility of the tow truck company.
Do we absorb any San Antonio vehicles in there?
It's up to the record company of who they want to put in there. Once you lease it to them, they're using it for their service, but we're making money off of
We're
what they're
making
doing.
them- Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So go ahead, Mr. Eversole.
We have to give them office space or something like that?
No, sir.
Any other questions? So when the chief and I talked about this possibility, this is exactly what we needed in our city. A chief that was thinking outside the box. This is an outside the box strategy to bring in decrease expenditures and increase revenues. And that's what we're doing. And this is an excellent idea on two facets. As an expert in risk management and liability exposure, it lessens the liability exposure on the city in terms of the contract that we'll be signing, which will place more liability on the contract company in terms of managing that particular impound lot. It takes us out of the business of having to do any of that. And they meet the requirements of all the inventory requirements as required by the Texas Department License and Regulation. All we need to do is keep track of the money and count the bills as it's coming in, going in the city coffers at that point.
That's correct.
I have another question. So when a vehicle gets impounded from Balcones Heights, evidence is cataloged by us or cataloged by the tow company?
So any vehicle that we would impound as an evidence would be cataloged by my officer. Because that has to, we have to keep chain of custody.
Right, they have the inventory.
So that's why we have what's called a secure lot. Secure lot is strictly for police evidentiary purposes. So that would be all documented by the officer in question and documented in his report.
Any other questions, council?
Are there going to be any kind of public auctions where we can be involved in? I mean, like we could not contribute, but in case I need a car.
So I would discourage that because of the fact that
Conflict of
you
interest.
are, to be a conflict of interest since you are part of city administration. As long as you're part of city administration, I would discourage any type of activity such as that.
We had a former councilman do that. and a
Just,
former
it was
chief.
just a question. I mean, like the citizens can do it though.
Citizens can,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
Citizens
can.
can. That's what I meant to really say. Can the citizens?
Yes, ma'am. They should,
Okay.
ma'am.
Great. Thank you, chief.
You're very welcome.
So do we have language or do we have a motion on the floor by the council to approve an RFP issuance? We can start the process.
I move to make a motion to approve the RFP.
Okay,
for-
Councilman Burton has moved. We have a second to that motion.
I second, Mayor.
Councilman Hernandez has seconded that motion. Now we'll call for any further discussion, questions. None said. Let's go ahead and call for the roll call vote. Mrs. Weaver? Mr.
Aye.
Ingersoll?
Aye.
Mr. Hernandez?
Hey.
Mr. Burton?
Yeah.
Okay, we have 4 yeas, no nays. Motion carries. Proceed with the RFP, chief.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. We'll move to item number 15, discussion and possible action to propose and adopt revisions to Chapter 150, Article 3A regarding cargo shipping containers. Nick, you have the floor here.
Yes.
Can you explain what that's about?
Yes, absolutely. So it was brought to our attention that the ordinance doesn't work for our commercial uses, right? It kind of limits everybody in terms of their storage, what they can warehouse. And most of the properties here are smaller commercially and residentially. So in order to make this work commercially, we're proposing revisions to this ordinance to work for commercial properties only. There's not going to be any revisions to any residential properties. Included in your packet is the old ordinance. I did provide y'all the proposed revisions earlier today. The two big items to kind of view here is 150.28 item B, commercial businesses. This highlights commercial businesses may store, maintain, otherwise keep a maximum of 2 cargo containers on a lot or property within any non-residential zoning district. The cargo container must be placed on an approved surface and the building official must approve its location. This is going to allow the city to still maintain some power of where this placement's going to be. If you'd like to jump over to 150.30 standards placement and location removal by city, Section B, Item 6. This is an addition to the ordinance. The cargo containers may not be placed within sight from a public right-of-way. If a cargo container is placed within sight of public right-of-way, it shall be concealed with a wall or fence. This is going to make sure that we're maintaining the aesthetic of the city while also giving commercial property owners the flexibility to use this as storage. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. This is a pretty straightforward revisions, but those are the two main items that are highlighted.
So this, I'm sorry. So this deals with the, I still call it Gill Road, outside Hobby Lobby where they stack, 7 or 8 containers down that corridor. They have to bring them back of some type of.
This would limit any commercial business to 2 Connex boxes. Yes. And again, this is up to the city to approve the usage. They're required to submit a written application and tell us why they're wanting to use these Connex boxes. If we don't find this as a valid reason for them to place it there, we do not have to approve it on the permit.
If you remember correctly, Mr. Burton, I think this was brought on by a former councilman that wanted to prohibit anybody using those Connex boxes?
Yes.
Build a home. And they're actually, some of them are really nice, the way they're building them futuristically in Austin and Houston, Dallas, some of the other areas. But originally, after the original idea of the past council that prohibited that, we had an issue come up where the chief needed some storage containers for the inventory of those vehicles. Because right now they're just open. There's been no type of inventory, type of regulations or anything that have maintained that inventory log for the police department. And he can explain more, but I think he's exempt. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Any government entity,
Originally came in.
any government entity will be exempt from that. That's not proposed for any changes here. It's under 150.31C. So we as a political division, the PD, fire department, anybody will not fall under this ordinance.
Chief, you can just elaborate a little bit why you're going to need them. I kind of gave it, but on your use of those boxes, why you need them and where they're going to be placed.
Oh, the reason for the Connex box that I had asked for approval to put in was due to the amount of storage needed for equipment such as vehicle equipment, light bars and whatnot that we have throughout the building here, as well as, the Public Works building where we are storing things, is to clean things up, organize them, and put them out of harm's way. We have a lot of staircases and whatnot that actually storage has been occurring, and we need to remove those items from it.
Okay, pretty good. Let's move forward. Council, how do you say you on this item? Do we have a motion to entertain? You want to adopt any revisions, propose any revisions? Do you want to do away with it completely? What is it that the council's pleasure would be on this?
Motion to adopt and approve the revisions to Chapter 150, Article 3 regarding cargo and shipping containers in a commercial zone.
As presented by Nick, correct?
Yes.
Okay, do we have a second to that motion?
I second, Mayor.
We have a second by Councilman Hernandez. So any further discussion? Any questions? Okay, Mr. Eversole, go right ahead, sir.
Well, as a business owner, it talks about surface that you're going to put them in. A lot of people, the people are going to be just wanting to put them in their back yard of their business for a location. I didn't see a stipulation on how close it is to the fence or.
It's going to rely on setbacks for that zoning classification. So whatever zoning classification you fall under, whether it's C1, O1, mixed use, it's going to use those setbacks as an accessory building. So to simplify, whatever setbacks are currently there for a building in your zoning classification is the setbacks that we're going to use for this shipping containers. So it can't be placed in your backyard. It's just we're not going to have it a foot away from the fence, right? We still need to maintain some sort of safety guidelines along with, any.
If you've already got a fence up and everything like that, it's not like, that's one of the things that some of the businesses have talked to me about is that they didn't want to have a 10-foot distance between the container and the property line, because there's already a fence there. They just want to be able to put it up next to the fence or close to it. They don't want to have a restriction like that.
So this was not mentioned whenever I kind of sent it over for revisions or any kind of adoption.
And then also,
yeah, absolutely.
And also with WODA, I think they need a little more flexibility than 2 containers. They're running a mall. They're not running a small office.
It is per business, not per commercial center. So the mall would be allotted more Connex units.
So, those are the things that I have issues with. I have issues with the being able to put like if I have a container, I already have it's probably 8 to 10 foot high next to my one fence where I would probably be putting one. Well, I don't want to have a 10-foot easement there that have to be 10 foot out. I want to be able to put it 5 foot out or something like that.
My suggestion, if I can, would be for us to look at the setbacks as more of an issue than the Connex, shipping cargo and container ordinance itself, because the setbacks don't really work for everybody as well. If we're wanting to change it for a shipping cargo container, then it should also be changed for an accessory building or a building for that matter, right? Because they're trying to propose different uses in their commercial areas. So I would suggest,
But the shipping container is movable and it's not like a more permanent structure.
it is not a permanent structure, but I would go as far to say that most of these commercial people that are trying to use a Connex box are,
Move mine for another 10, 20 years.
yeah, so it's more of a temporary structure with a temporary usage, right?
And then like, what's it supposed to be setting on? I mean, I don't really see anything wrong with just setting it on the ground, but if it says sort of specific surfaces is what you were saying.
There's no defined surfaces within the ordinance. It just says an approved surface. So that would fall back to the building official and community development.
Because if I get one dropped in my backyard of my building, then I'm gonna just set it on the ground is what I'd like to do instead of build, like, if you want to park your car in the back of your business, you have to have a slab, you have to have pavers, you have to have all these different criteria in order for it to exist. It's not the same thing. So I don't want to make sure that we put too many strings on, like, trying to do something. We're trying to do something for the businesses. Well, let's do something for the businesses and not just tie their hands up and say, well, you got to jump through all these hoops in order to make this work for them.
Yeah, there's no limitations on the surface materials that you can set the shipping container on.
Is this also that there's a minimum of two, like
A maximum of 2.
maximum of two? Do we
Yes.
have to have, do they have to get code approval every time they?
There needs to be a written application to the community development department.
Okay.
Again, this is just to give the city flexibility, right? Because we don't want these commercial businesses to be applying if they're not necessarily needing these shipping containers, that they're just wanting to put them out there. We want to make sure that we're maintaining the aesthetic of the city. They're being placed in areas and we're promoting good development in the city, right? This is going to affect the aesthetic if we're placing them in the front yard, if we're placing them in not approved locations that don't help the city visually. So that we're just trying to limit that and not force people to jump through hoops, but give the city a little more power to make sure that we're protecting ourselves.
Nick, Tracy brought up some really good questions about the setback and stuff like that. Do we have any, I'm going to say, something to go by other cities surrounding us? What some of their guidelines?
I haven't done any research on local municipalities surrounding us, Leon Valley, Castles, anything like that, on what their ordinance would state. If you'll go back to my BOA presentations, I would say that our setbacks are a little more heavier than most municipalities, which is why my suggestion is for us to go look at the setbacks as opposed to the shipping cargo containers. From my understanding, most of San Antonio's setbacks are 5 feet. Is that correct? Yeah. So we're kind of limiting our businesses and the setbacks as opposed to this ordinance itself.
I think there should be a little more discussion on this one before we just approve it and put it into law.
Okay. Now, the chair will entertain from any member of the council an amendment if you're prepared for one. If you're not, then perhaps you want to go back to the drawing board, create an amendment with the language that you would like to see, and come back and revisit this before it gets passed? Is it the will of the council not to take any action on this item? Because it won't affect, being that the police department, for the whole purpose of being placed on here, is exempt. So we've achieved the goal that we needed to do, is to have discussion about that. This is a sidebar to that. So if you'd like to do that, unless you're prepared to make an amendment now, the chair will entertain that.
Can I step in really quick? I believe that Mr. Burton had started a motion.
Right, but there's an amendment. If he'd like to make an amendment to Mr. Burton's motion, that is, the chair will entertain that. Or you can rescind it if you like.
Well,
are you prepared with language right now?
Well, Mike.
Go ahead, Mr. Ebersol.
My question is, can we change the lines from 10 feet to 5 feet? I think that would be a good amendment to the clause instead of, because that is one of the concerns the businesses were telling me about. They says they want to be able to put it closer to the fence instead of keeping the 10-foot easements.
That is the setback ordinance. That is not any verbiage in this ordinance. There's no setback, minimums, maximums at all in this ordinance. It is a separate ordinance with setbacks defined by every zoning classification.
You'd have to bring that ordinance with regard to setbacks. And I think when he mentioned earlier that he had done a briefing on compared to other cities, and Balcones Heights is very restrictive compared to other cities. So the setback issue is not in this ordinance. It is in another ordinance that would have to be brought back to council.
So it would be good, I think it would be good then to approve this one and go forward with it and then look at the other one and work on that other code.
Yes.
That doesn't seem like this is the
All
code.
right, so you're not entertaining a motion for any other amendment. Let's move with the vote. Ms. Weaver, I'll go right ahead, sir.
Did you rescind your motion? Okay. So did you get a second to his motion?
Did you decide to rescind it? Okay, we have a second. That's why, so he hadn't rescinded it. It's still motion. We're going to move forward. So the chair recognizes the two motions that have been made. We'll now call for a vote after discussion. Ms. Weaver, how do you vote?
Yay.
Mr. Eversole, how do you vote?
Yay.
Mr. Hernandez, how do you vote?
Yay.
Mr. Burton?
Yay.
Okay, motion carries forward. No nays. Fantastic. Thank you, council. So now we will move over. Does anybody want to take a quick little break? A couple of minute break, or you want to move forward? Is everybody okay? Ms. Weaver, would you like to take a little break? Okay, why don't we say we take a quick little 3-4 minute break, bathroom break, then we'll come right back into session. 11 p.m. and we are now 8:11. 8:11 p.m. and we're going to take a few moments to just take a break. Time is 8:19 p.m. Time is 8:19 p.m. We will now be going back into open session and proceed with the council chamber after a small little break. We left off at item number 16. No, excuse me. We're on discussion possible action. We don't have to do anything on the Carter. We already voted on that. Item 16, discussion and possible action to approve the Balcones Heights Justice Center security fence bid. Chief Cavazos, you have the floor again. Let's move very quickly on that. Coming up on 8:20.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I think I kind of already touched on this accidentally before. There's a need for a security fence for the back part of the parking lot. Prices, bids range from $178,000 all the way down to $33,240. I'd like to get approval to move forward with that.
For
that
which
fence.
bid, sir?
The bid for the fence would be with A+ affordable fence and repair, $33,240, 8-foot wrought iron fence with motorized gates and
Okay.
pedestrian access.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve Chief Cavazos' request for the bid for $33,240 for the fence.
Do we have a second to that motion? Go ahead and hit your button there. It's malfunctioning again. There he is.
I
Okay,
second.
Councilwoman Weaver has second that motion. Call for any further discussion, any questions to the chief about this particular item.
What does this get us?
Councilman
now?
Burton.
It gets us the gap between the stone fence and the slat wall.
So the fenced area will start here at the front egress, off of, what is it, this Delman Drive? So the fencing will start there at the curb line, as it starts at the parking area. You get to the Sally Port. And then, so that hits all the way to the cement fence for the apartment complex, goes up the sidewalk and gives us a pedestrian access gate to be able to walk into that Sally Port area if we need to from the outside fence. Then over on the Hillcrest side, they'll have a pedestrian gate there to be able to walk into the parking lot, but then it also cuts across all the way up to the drainage portion of the cement, straight back to the apartment complex gate. That's also an easement there, so we'll put a double access gate that's just a manual gate with a lock so that it'll have access through public services.
Great. Well, that's a long time coming to secure our valuable assets that we have within the perimeter. So I'm really glad that you proposed that, Mr. Burton.
Will this use the card key or will this be a honk type of?
So they're actually going to be remotes, but we intend to try to add a keypad and an access card at a later date.
So during the time that we, council members, are needing to come in, access, you'll have our access cards to get in?
Once
Yeah,
once we add that swipe badge.
Okay,
But initially, it's going to be like garage door openers.
okay, but you'll have an access for the council? and
Yes, sir.
us to move in.
Yes,
Okay, great, thank you.
Mhm.
Council, any other questions?
I was just thinking, do you know how much more it would be to have that already added into this one proposal or not?
I don't have that bid, yes.
Okay.
At this time, because we've got to get the bid for the electrical. This
Okay.
is just for the structure of the fence.
Okay.
And I think he mentioned, council, just so you know, this is the only contractor, I think, that has the curved protection to prevent people from climbing over, as opposed to the other contractors were straight.
Yes, sir,
Correct?
that's correct. That's correct.
So
The
that
other,
adds an extra security feature.
correct, because
for
it
no-
makes
for
it
less
more
money.
difficult for people to scale that fence and go over.
Okay, great. Let's go ahead and call the roll vote for it. Councilman Burton, unless you have any other questions.
Aye.
Okay, Councilman Hernandez,
Yay.
Councilman Eversole,
Yes.
Councilman Weaver.
Weaver, yes.
Councilwoman Weaver. So yes, so we have 4 and no nay votes. Motion carries.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead and proceed, chief. 17, discussion and possible action regarding other municipalities being part of our dispatch services. And I think this is going to be music to Mayor Pro Tem Burton's ears. Go ahead, chief, you have the floor.
So this item discusses the possibility of our dispatch service being used by other municipalities for their police and fire services. We would approach these other entities and try to solicit them or engage them into contract for our dispatchers to dispatch for their fire and police services. We would also like to entertain for future improvements with the CAD system and the RMS system in that aspect, so that the officers have more abilities from their vehicles to be able to access the actual service for call system, as well as to be able to incorporate that service for call into their report writing system and do their reports in the vehicles themselves. That service, that ability puts more presence out in the streets instead of the officers having to come back and write the reports at the facility.
Questions for chief?
And it also cuts down on OT.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But we have to do this in phases. First, have to get the interest of the other municipalities, and then have them share in the cost of the upgrade of the system as we gain more participants into the service.
Mayor, may I be
Yes,
recognized?
please, Mr. Hernandez, go right ahead.
Chief, I just want to commend you. I think this is a great idea. Late last year, one of the former council members approached me, came to my home, wanted to sit down with me, and they were really pushing my support to have dispatch removed from the city and to contract out to Bear Met. And so that's how I ended up becoming running for election, because I was not in agreement with that. I said, no way, I want to keep our dispatch. And so I started coming to the meetings. I got more involved. I decided to run. But this is the actual item that kind of got me out of my lazy boy, so to speak, and into public service. But I want to say that shortly after, running for office and during that, election period is when Jack Burton and the mayor said they had a great idea. Why don't we use our services to generate revenue? So not only are we able to keep it, but now we can increase the revenues to the city. And that's exactly where we're at today. And so I know in our conversations, you already have some cities that have shown interest in that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Eversole?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think it's a great idea, and I'm glad that you're taking this on and you see so much opportunity in the city and what the potential is, where we can go with this.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you very much.
I know you're biting at the chip. Are you? Good. So, and I think what Mr. Hernandez did not mention that also motivated him is because of the budget shortfall. We had a tremendous shortfall and they were not able to fund or didn't want to continue funding the dispatch. So we rolled up our sleeves. I went out to Bear Met, which the former mayor was a member of, but did not pursue that. And we did. We went out and looked for it. We got 77,000 and change to get brand new leather chairs, $1,500 chairs for the dispatch room, and upgraded consoles in there, a whole tower system, the whole rewiring of our dispatch, and the ability to have updated equipment in there to handle up to 3 departments. So you have room for 3 departments and can add more later if you need to. Bear Met will come back and provide that for us. But that was, Jack and I fought tooth and nail by ourselves against the entire council that didn't want to do it. They wanted to take our special dispatch service that we have that really makes our community special, because the residents really like that fast response time, be able to call, to speak to somebody they know in the dispatch. And they were going to get rid of that. And we said, no, we'll find another way. And we did. And now all we just needed was somebody like you to show up, think outside the box, carry that next step. And that's where we're moving. So thank you again.
My pleasure, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Burton, for being there in the trenches with me and fighting for it. Thank you, council, for realizing it afterwards. And you came in and helping us as well.
Yes, sir. And Mayor, may I ask, so what specifically are you asking on as far as the action item from the council?
Well, I just want to be sure the council is on board with me trying to solicit these type of engagements with the other municipalities. And then I'll have to figure out what the cost factor will be. But I think the number that was thrown out is in the $200,000 ranges.
That we can rent services. So in other words, that's a potential revenue of
Yes, sir.
200,000 per entity
Yes, sir.
of New City that we bring in. We handle their dispatch, and that could be potentially up to $600,000 in
Correct.
extra revenue, less expenses to adding a dispatcher or whatever it is that you'll be exploring, correct?
Correct.
But it's still a positive.
Yes, sir.
It'll be additional revenue. Okay?
So do we need Mr. Frank to vote or just give him a blessing to proceed?
I think it's blessing to proceed. I mean, there's no official action required.
Okay.
Action will come when he brings the contracts for you to approve.
Right. Okay. Well, you have our blessing.
Okay, so we can move forward with that. Now let's go into item number 18, discussion and possible action to utilize the Justice Center as a multi-agency facility. Again, another great idea, a creative idea by Chief Cavazos, and I think y'all are gonna love of what he's proposing, which makes a lot of sense, again, to increase revenues for the city.
So this item 18, the premise of it is bringing other jurisdictions, state, local agencies into this facility. When you bring those other type of agencies in here, it's a force multiplier with really no cost to the city. So I'm looking at federal, state, and local agencies to be housing in our facilities, such as HSI, State Police, Texas Rangers, DEA, the game wardens as well. FBI, yes, sir. The intent also is to have interview rooms available for the covert operations units who cannot take their suspects or prisoners to their covert centers. They need a place to be able to interview these prisoners. My intent is to create 2 interview rooms that will be actually recorded rooms that they can use for that purpose. I also have already been in contact with the federal agency about using our jail facilities and exploring the option of them paying for that service and providing the expense of guards and hopefully an LVN in there to live up to appropriate jail standards.
Excellent, excellent. I think that idea is going to be a great collaborative effort of intergovernmental agencies that will be here, and we can build on that. And I think that's an excellent idea on increasing revenues. This is exactly what we were looking for, outside the box. Previously, I hate to report this, but our jail facility, since back when I was 2000 mayor, it was never really utilized for what it was intended for. We're actually keeping animals in there, dogs, which is unsanitary.
Very
Not
unsanitary
only
and
that, but
unsafe.
the diseases that they carry that were in there. And so I think that this carries in the next component of accelerating our achievements.
Yes, sir, it does.
So absolutely fantastic.
I think this is another, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mr. Eversol, and then I'll recognize Mr.
Are the facilities going to need to be upgraded, or like the jails, or is it, or are we meeting the requirements?
So I didn't want to bleed into number 19 just yet. But there will need to be some enhancements. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Movement of personnel from one area of the building to the other to be able to achieve these objectives and create the spaces that we need to create.
Correct. And we'll go into 19, we'll explain that, how that'll work. Yeah, we're on 18 right now, so good. Anything else, Chief? You don't need any action on that, just FYI?
It's more of an informative
Okay.
agenda that's on here, just to
Okay.
let you know the direction that we intend to go and hopefully be able to produce more revenue through these actions.
All right, sir, proceed as you need to. I think that's Mr. Hernandez. go
And be
ahead.
recognized. Yes, sir. So I don't know my exact dates, but I would say it was a little over 20 years ago. I worked in the Presidio County jail. And I know as a jailer, we had many federal, I'm going to say, housings come in, and the city or the county of Presidio would charge, so much per night, and generated a lot of revenue. That was actually one of the primary sources of revenue for Presidio County. And so I can see that being a revenue generating opportunity here. So because of our location, we're so in the center of the city, I can imagine these other officers with the other agencies, it'd be a lot more convenient to bring them here to do that interview, which of course, I support it 100%. So you have my blessing, sir.
Thank you,
Great.
sir.
Any other questions, Councilman Burton?
I think just the optics of having an FBI, a Texas Rangers, a DPS here is a deterrent for crime in itself in this city. Once that gets out, it kind of gets the riffraff out too. They don't want to come and they don't want to be a part of that. So
I've already had a conversation with one of the chiefs from the Texas Department of Public Safety, who is excited about the opportunity to have a satellite officer here and has asked me how many officers I need. So again, it's a force multiplier, the presence just by itself, and to be able to address a lot of the criminal element that is in our city. As I've mentioned before, Balcones Heights is like a small SAPD substation. We have all the elements of what SAPD does, San Antonio deals with here in our city.
Great, thank you, Chief. Excellent presentation. Any other questions for the chief? Okay, let's move on quickly down to 19. Discussion and possible action to relocate city employees to satellite office. Councilman Hernandez and Chief Cavazos.
You can go first, sir.
So, he brought it up. We need space. I've heard from other council members that, possibly use the current spirit of Halloween, space, but I think that space is too large and it would cost too much money to renovate it. I don't think we have that many employees to move. My proposal is our current mayor office / council office. I think that would work if we put some dividers up. And then that way, every year we have this space and we use it as an income generator and not lose that resource as far as income to the city. So that would be my suggestion as a possible space, but I'm open to other suggestions.
Councilman Burton?
I think that's a great idea to get our feet wet. Ultimately, if we're going to split the civilian side and the PD side up, one of the nicest places that we could move is across from the senator's office. I mean, it's a large space, but it would entail, you could have a courtroom. It's a horseshoe, basically. I don't know if you've ever been in that. I think it's A19. And it's a horseshoe. You've got a reception area in the front, office, which were basically career point classrooms. And then they had like a center, like about the size of this room. And you could move the diocese over there, and that would free this bottom level up for you as well. But, you know, let's walk before we run. And I think we could make that space work. I'm concerned with security in the mall because their security consists of a guy in a golf cart that drives around and sleeps in front of the TV monitors over there. So I'd be a little concerned with that. I'd also like to see a door. I was telling Nick, you know, we've got the sliding doors and they're hard to open, but the noise from the mall the ambient noise is just deafening in there. So if we could just close those doors around a regular, you know, door, one door to get in, so it keeps that noise out of there. But I think that's a minimal expense, and we've already got internet over there. We've got some computers over there. There's a refrigerator, and we can divide it up any way we want to. It's got bathrooms, 2 bathrooms and showers, and a wet bar. So I think it's a logical move. We need to move finance, city administrator, community development. I guess leave court over here for right now, right?
We can leave it here for now, but we will eventually need the space.
That's why after the mall, after we let the chips fall where they may, if you will, that might be an avenue to move over there, or if something happens with the senator doesn't get reelected, that would be a great office space for us as well. We own that. We do own that section.
Okay. You yield the floor, sir? Okay. Councilman Eversole?
One of the things I'm thinking about is accessibility for the people who come in. Like if we're going to move the court over there, they need to be able to get in. Like here, the parking even over here isn't really that good. But I mean, if we can make it more conducive to getting people in, I don't think fixing up old escalators is an acceptable solution to after we've had a few lawsuits over there because they just fixed the old ones and didn't upgrade them probably with the newer safety features and things like that. I think we paid more in the long run for trying to fix something old instead of putting something new in there that had more secure safety features. I think the people need to, because we don't want to get a bunch of people complaining about just getting there to pay your money.
Right.
I went there and I had to fight through the traffic or go up and down, or there was no access. There is good parking over there in the parking lot with the upper and lower level right there. We're coming in off Fredericksburg, but if we could develop that somehow and make it more accessible to, like you could just pop this thing right here, right there, walking through the door, your court's right there, and figure out how to make it work. I don't know.
Down in that lower level at the first.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd
make
be
it
ideal.
a lower level so that people don't have to worry about going up and down the steps, tripping and falling. There's plenty of parking down there. It's like 5 times or 10 times more parking down there than there is over here. We've got 10, 15 car spaces, and that's about it. So, I mean, if they could park in the upper level or the lower level, and if we could make that very convenient. Because this is about, I'm just like going to Disneyland, you know, they take your money faster than anybody I ever met.
Thank you, Mr. Eversole. Ms. Weaver, do you have any comments? Okay. So go ahead, Mr. Hernandez. I was just going to offer some
I have a
suggestions.
question for Maria.
I was just going to.
So I know you're new, very new, right? But have you had a chance to visit the office in the mall that we have now?
Yes, I have been there. I don't know how big it will be for all of our offices, and I would like to also take court. Court is part of administration, and it should be separate from the police department. So we should keep it like that, separate from them. And I know that since I was working here in 2011, we knew that this facility was meant to be for a police department. So I think it will be a good change. I would just need to see the spaces that you guys are mentioning. That way I can see if they're big enough for the entire department.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if I may offer a suggestion, I think that all the conversation and the dialogue by the council members are very constructive, and they're very much, we should consider all these things. But one of the things that we have to remember is before we can even get into that mall, we have to consider getting control of the asset. Because if we get in that mall right now, all it does is benefit the other partnership, not us. So we make sure first, and that's where the second phase is coming in. So we have time, but it's great that the dialogue is being out there because we're all expressing what we would like to see our city go in a direction where we can place it, the mall and all that. But let's first get a hold of that asset, get control under what we call a GP, General Partnership Agreement Amendment, in which the partnerships that are in control right now will no longer be managing that asset. The city will be managing that asset. Then we now can move into doing what we need to do at that point and invest tax dollars into that asset, because then it's a whole asset and there's a return back for the city. Right now it would be too premature because we don't have control of the asset. So we make sure we do that first. But in the meantime, let's constructively talk with Ms. Hernandez. Let's talk with the chief. Let's start laying out the groundwork. Maybe somebody can take point on this, whoever would like to make point, and create yourself either a committee or some sort and put yourself tasked to doing this. And I'm all ears for it to entertain whatever you guys would like to do, wherever you'd like to put it. Does that sound like a plan? Mr. Enriquez, would you add a little bit for us, please, to enlighten us on that? And with the reasoning behind why our original conversation, you and I, in our conversation with the chief, started on that idea of why is it necessary to separate the departments
You know, Mayor, and that is something that,
historically,
sure.
what has happened in the past.
Yeah, and one of the things is that you will see this in every municipality where the police are in their area and the administration is their area and the fire is in their area. And that it makes a ton of sense because the cultures are different and they have different goals and objectives and whatnot. I think one of the kind of the hidden, you'd mentioned earlier about lemonade and lemons and all that. B61 is under your purview 100%. And that is now and was from the beginning, where the Spirit Halloween is right now. That is your space. And in fact, early on in the negotiations, that was, I think, contemplated to be precisely what you're discussing right now, which is going to be the future home of the administrative offices of the city of Balcones Heights. I don't have the institutional memory of how that all fell apart, but it fell apart. And so perhaps it's an opportunity to revisit that. The concept has always been that, you know, it's a heavy lift for the city of Balcones Heights to come in and sort of redo that entire space. But if we were to bring in intergovernmental partners like the county clerk or the district clerk or the county tax assessor collector or the Bear Appraisal District, all these are folks, again, I'm not saying they'll come, but there is at least evidence to suggest that they may be interested in having a satellite office or a payment center or something along those lines. And of course, you know, a courtroom, something along those lines. It's over 15,000 square feet. that particular space. And it has an entrance directly to the outside of the mall and to the inside of the mall. And so while it would be expensive probably to be able to redo that and reconfigure all of that, that is something that's already under your purview as part of the agreements that you signed with the Crossroad Partners Limited.
So then we would not have to wait if we wanted to jump into that.
Well, you would,
And fund it.
right, finding the resources in order to refit, and construction costs are quite high right now, as you know, on some of these other things that we're looking at in the mall and whatnot. So, I mean, it's money. The thing preventing you from doing what you want to do right now is money.
Good, well, then that's a great option. And we have been in dialogue, Mr. Enriquez and I, with Gloria Martinez, the county clerk, and, the district clerk, and Bear County County Clerk. Both are biting at the bit to come in and bring in a kiosk in our office downstairs where the annex office is at. And so we've already been in talks with them. I met as early as last week with them. They're wanting to really get in there right away. And that was our original idea, remember, Councilman Burton, way back that we thought of that. So now it's coming to fruition. So I think this dialogue is positive. I think we just move at the speed of opportunity, and we have all these options before us. So whoever would like to take lead on that, I'm all ears. Okay, so we don't have to take any action right now. Right now it's just discussion, and maybe between now and then, y'all can take the liberty of who wants to head this off, and we move from there with Ms. Hernandez. Great, okay. All right, let's go ahead and we're finished there in item 19. We will now, the time is 8:49 p.m. We will now move to item number 20, which is an executive session item and discussion pursuant to Texas Government Code 551074, personnel matters in Texas Government Code 551071 regarding Office of the City Attorney and Municipal Court Prosecutor, including but not limited to recruitment, resignation, and appointment. And I think this is something that we will conduct as a council with staff only, and then we'll be able to come out of that session and we can call in the attorneys if we need to the executive session at the purview of the council. If not, we just go into open session and you take the action necessary that we have to in open session. Okay. So the time is right now, as I mentioned, what was it, 8:49, Roy? 8:49 p.m. We will now move into executive session. We'll be attending to the two firms that we're going to be talking to. The time is 9:31 p.m. We have come out of the executive session to discuss item number 20, discussion pursuant to Texas Government Code 551074, personnel matters in Texas Government Code 551 regarding Office of City Attorney and a Municipal Court Prosecutor, including but not limited to recruitment, resignation, and appointment. What say you, council? Do we have a recognition of any council member? Mr. Ebersol, you may be recognized.
Okay, I make a motion that we accept the resignation of Frank Garza and his law firm effectively immediately as city attorney and prosecutor services.
Okay, do we have a second to that motion?
Mayor, I second the motion.
Okay, Councilman Hernandez has seconded that motion. Now I'll call for any further discussion. None? Okay, Mr. Garza, please, if you'd like to have a few words, you're welcome to.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. First of all, I'd like to thank the city for the opportunity to have served the city for the last 22 years. As some of you may know, I was the city attorney of San Antonio and left the city in July of 2002. Went to go work for the law firm of Davidson and Trillo. And they gave me the opportunity to build a municipal law practice. And in July of 2003, Balcones Heights was my first city that hired me as city attorney after the city of San Antonio. And the city of Balcones Heights is basically the linchpin that started my municipal career in private practice. Because of the communications that I had with Balcones Heights, I was hired by Poteet 3 months later, and after that, by the city of Bulverde, because a former council member had asked a current council member of Balcones Heights, hey, we need a new attorney in Bulverde. You have any recommendations? And so it just grew. And it grew to where our firm in 2012 changed the name from Davidson Trillo to Davidson Trillo Riemann Garza. And a lot of that had to do with the municipal practice and the governmental entities that I represented. So I want to give thanks to the city for that opportunity and giving me the opportunity to represent the city, both present, past officials and employees. It's been an honor to serve. As I mentioned to folks, that without this opportunity, I mean, when I went to TML, I had 2 badges. One said Frank Garza, partner Davidson Trillo and Riemann Garza. The other one said Frank Garza, City Attorney, Balcones Heights. I delegated a lot of my cities to associates and others, but I never delegated this one because this was my first city and I wanted to continue serving that city. I know that it's time for a change, and I respect the mayor and the council for its decision. And I wish you the best of luck. And if there's anything I could ever do for the city, I'd be more than willing to assist. And again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Garza. And in recognition of that, I had a resolution prepared and I'd like to read it for you. City of Balcones Heights, Texas will number the resolution. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Balcones Heights, Texas, accepting the resignation of Frank Garza as city attorney and commending Mr. Garza for many years of service, providing an effective date, providing meeting and notice, which we'll put in here. Whereas the law firm of Davidson, Trillo, Ream, and Garza has ably represented the city of Balcones Heights for many years. And whereas Frank J. Garza has long served with distinction as city attorney and the city's primary legal advisor. And whereas Mr. Garza has submitted his resignation as city attorney and notification of his law firm's intention to cease representation of the city. And whereas the city council wishes to accept Mr. Garza's resignation and commend Mr. Garza's firm for many years of service. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Balcones Heights, Texas, that Section 1, the findings set forth in the recitals of the resolution are hereby found to be true and correct, and hereby adopted as findings of the City Council and are incorporated in the body of this resolution, and it fully set forth herein. Section 2, the City Council hereby respectfully accepts Mr. Garza's resignation. Section 3, the City Council expresses its appreciation to Mr. Garza and his firm for the many years of service to the city. Section 4, the City Council thanks Mr. Garza in advance for his willingness to help the city's transition to new legal counsel and any cooperation in the transfer of records. Section 5, the City Council hereby waives any notice requirements specified in Mr. Garza's arrangement with the city and thus allows the cessation of legal services effective immediately. Section 6, the resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage. Section 7, the City Council hereby finds and declares that written notice of the date, hour, place, and subject of the meeting at which this resolution was adopted was posted, and that such meeting was open to the public as required by law at all times, during which this resolution and the subject matter hereof were discussed, considered, and formally acted upon, all as required by the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551, Texas Government Code as amended. Duly resolved and adopted by the City Council, City of Balcones Heights today, this 22nd day of September 2025. And then I will affix my signature to this, and Roy will affix his. So, Mr. Garza, thank you so much. We will in a little bit. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your service. So now we will entertain a formal. We already had the motion second. We had discussion. So let's call the vote. Mr. Burden, how you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Hernandez, how you vote?
Yay.
Mr. Eversol, how you vote?
Yay.
Ms. Weaver, how do you vote?
Yay.
Okay, we have 4, no nays. Motion carries. Again, thank you, Mr. Garza. Your resignation has been accepted. Thank you so much. So now we will formally now take the second step in the process. Regarding the Office of City Attorney Municipal Court Prosecutor. So in that it includes the prosecutor, so that was addressed. Now we will discuss the actual appointment of your new counsel, if that is council's wishes. Which councilman would like to entertain a motion?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman Hernandez. has
as
been making-
discussed in an executive session, I'd like to make a motion to retain the services of Borecas for city attorney only.
Okay, and that is for just the city attorney or the prosecutor in general?
Just for the city attorney.
Okay, do we have a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, Councilman Burton is second. Do we have any further discussion on the item?
Mayor, if I can add, the Barkowitz firm is one of the best firms that you will find. It's just not the best firm.
We'll allow you that. So we have a motion on the floor. Let's call a roll call vote. Councilman Burton?
Aye.
Councilman Hernandez? Councilman Eversol?
Aye.
Councilmember Weaver?
Weaver.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye. We have 4 and we have no nays. Motion passes. Mr. Borges, would you please allow your representative of the firm and yourself to take your place at the podium of the dais? Okay. And we have a gentleman from the firm, Mr. Shearhart. Your first name was what now? Scott Shearhart. He's part, in case anybody wants to know. Great. Great. Thank you, Mr. Garza. Okay. Yes.
I'd like to make another motion to retain the services of Anthony Arriaga for his services for prosecution.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to retain the services of Prosecutor Attorney Anthony Arriaga. Do we have a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
We have a second by Mr. Burton. Okay, I'll call for any further discussions, any question? Mr. Arriaga, were you here? Would you like to address the public, being that they weren't subject to the executive session? And just quickly tell them a little bit of your bio and how you would like to represent the city. And yeah, turn your mic up, bring it up. There you go. There you go.
Very good, thank you. Everyone, my name is Anthony Arriaga. I'm the prosecutor for the city of Balcones Heights at this point. I am absolutely excited to serve the city of Balcones Heights. I have served as a prosecutor, as a municipal court prosecutor for over 17 years, 14 and a half with the city of San Antonio. And currently I serve jurisdictions including Kirby, Garden Ridge, Hill Country Village, Hollywood Park, and Chavano Park. I've got experience in larger jurisdictions working smaller dockets and in smaller jurisdictions working larger dockets. I've also got experience in all facets of the municipal court. I've worked 3 years in assault, misdemeanor assault. I've worked 4 years in code compliance, 1 year in juvenile, and of course, extensive experience handling traffic and quality of life violations. This is something I do love to do. It is something that I believe that I do well. Now that I've been given the opportunity to serve the city of Balcones Heights, again, council and the citizens of Balcones Heights, I am confident that I can not only meet expectations, but surpass those expectations and be an asset to the city and help the city get to where it needs to be. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, council.
Thank you so much. I'm glad council had an opportunity to meet you. You have any questions for us at all? Anything?
They'll come, Mayor. I don't have any questions right now.
Okay. Excuse me? Yes, of course. So we will now move with a formal vote. We have a first and a second. Any discussion, Mr. Burton?
Yes,
You will be here on this Wednesday, correct?
yes, if appointed.
Every Wednesday, of course, we discuss.
Yes, I am free this Wednesday, Councilman Burton. So yes, if appointed, I will be here this Wednesday. I'll need instruction as to what time to be here and so on and so forth. But yes, I'm.
We'll make sure Ms. Hernandez arranges all that with our clerk. So let's go ahead and take a vote. Councilman Burton, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yay.
Mr. Ebersol.
Aye.
Ms. Weaver.
Aye.
4 ayes and no nays. Congratulations as our new prosecutor. Welcome to our city. Thank you. Okay, now we have concluded with that part of the discussion. We will now move into discussion pursuant Texas Code. We've already discussed pursuant to the personnel matters. There is no action to take on item number 21. So we will now, let me read it for the formal purposes of the record. 21, discussion pursuant to Texas Government Code 551074, personnel matters regarding office of the city secretary has been discussed in executive session. There is no action to be taken on that. So we will move on now to item 22, discussion pursuant to Texas Government Code 551074, personnel matters regarding office of the chief of police, including but not limited to contractual issues. The time is 9:45 p.m. We will now go into executive session with our new legal counsel, and we will ask the public just to bear a few minutes with us, and then we will call you back in to include just the council members, the attorney, and that's it for now. And we'll call you in, Chief, in a little bit. The time is 10:26 p.m. We have come out of executive session, and we are now going into open session to discuss the item number 22, discussion pursuant to Texas Government Code 551074, personnel matters regarding office of the chief of police, including but not limiting to contractual issues. Do we have a council? Do we have a motion to entertain?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion authorizing the city administrator and city attorney to negotiate an employment contract with the chief of police.
Okay. Do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
Okay, we have a second by Councilman Burton. Any further discussion? Okay. Is there any comments by council? Okay, sounds good. Well, then no further discussion. We'll call for a roll call vote on it. Ms. Weaver. Okay, for the record, her microphone's not working. Councilmember Weaver has motion aye.
I got it.
I
Aye.
got it. Aye. Councilman Eversole.
Aye.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yay.
Councilman Burton.
Yay.
Okay, great. So we have the motion for and no nays. And that would be for the city attorney, the newly city attorney we have, and the city administrator, Ms. Maria Hernandez, to begin the negotiations with the chief of police on his contract. Okay, so that is now, we will go ahead and move into announcements, comments, and requests. Announcement, comments by mayor and council members. Do we have anything? Anyone? Mr. Burton?
Is this the,
Any announcements that you may have that you want to announce to the public?
oh, I was just gonna say, Councilman Hernandez and I got to go up to the mall and meet,
Oh, that's right. yeah.
Butch Patrick. I don't know if y'all are familiar with him, but he played Eddie Munster on the Munsters. And we got to check out his car. He started it up for us, and it was quite loud in the mall. It was real loud, but that was really cool. And did you get your picture?
Yes, I
Oh,
did.
thank
Autographed picture from Mr. Patrick.
Yes.
And we presented him with a proclamation, I think, Councilman, is that correct? Yeah. Mr. Hernandez?
To make a few comments. So briefly, in a previous council meeting, probably 2 months ago or so, one of the former council members came up and kept accusing us of defunding the police department. And so I think today's budget reflects the exact opposite. Looking at our proposed budget for 2026, we have increased our funds to the police department by $252,000, a 21% increase. So I think I just wanted to point that out. Wanted to point out a couple of other things too, Mayor. When we were at the mall yesterday, speaking with Victoria, who's the mall manager, she brought something to my attention that was kind of disheartening. And she said, you know, Jimmy, that it's odd that the city of Balcony Heights owns 47% of the mall, which is the biggest ownership percentage of all the partners. And yet they have all these functions just like they had yesterday. And yet the city has never supported the mall in our newsletter. Like, why haven't we made these announcements? She said, with the exception of the Jazz Festival and with the other people that were here today, the Hispanic Trails, that those are the only two functions or events that we've ever promoted. And so that kind of didn't make sense to me. That's a big disconnect. And so we got with Roy, he was there, and we agreed that, you know what, we need to make that connection and we need to promote the mall. And so I think that was, an eye opener. I didn't realize that. And then I wanted to say to the city, I know almost everybody's gone, but in this new budget, we've made room not only, to help reduce our expenses overall, but we shifted dollars and we're able to bring in money for the park. So we have set aside about $50,000 for tree trimming and other improvements to the park. We're going to bring in a marquee sign for the city of Balcones Heights for announcements. And there's a few other things that we've done, but this has been a great budget cycle. So I just want to point that out to the public.
Great. Any other announcements? Mr. Burton?
I'd kind of like to piggyback off of Jimmy. A lot of the decisions we made weren't popular. They were hard decisions to make. We didn't take them lightly, but we're doing what we said we would do, which was improve the city, improve our standing in that mall, and not cut any city services. And in fact, we not only did not get rid of a dispatch, we improved our dispatch. And as of tonight, we will be in negotiations for other cities to utilize our facility and bring in intergovernmental agencies to help us, which is a great look for the city. So I disagree with a lot of things that citizens to be heard say. They know not what they say. They don't understand what's transpired, and that will come out in good time. But it hurts to sit here and take the lawn darts every meeting and bite my tongue. So I just want to reassure that anybody that is watching, we are making steps, leaps, and bounds, but they don't understand yet.
Mr. Hernandez?
I forgot, I was remiss, and probably the most important thing, in speaking with Mr. Messick, our finance director, previous years we had funds allocated for economic development, but those funds kept getting shifted out and moved to other departments and stuff. And so this year we have $200,000 set aside in the budget to help with economic development. And just real quick, I'll be brief. Jack and I, Councilman Burton and I, went to the city of Seguin and met with one of the council members there. He gave us a tour of a very popular barbecue place called Burnt Bean. If you don't know about it, they're on the Texas Monthly #1 barbecue place in Texas, right? And they have a line that's around the building. It takes about 3 hours to get in there. People bring lawn chairs and stuff. Well, the council member, Council Ray, told us that when the owner Burnt Bean came to the EDC, that he needed help buying the smokers. And so the EDC actually invested and paid for those smokers with the expectation that the city would regain that money in tax revenues over the next 4 years. Well, his business was such a success that those smokers were paid off in less than 12 months, right? And so that's where we got the idea to have this money set aside in the EDC so that we have new businesses. And I know Dr. Enriquez is gone, but these new businesses that want to open up, we want to have some money that we can invest in them to help them take off, be successful, and then generate more revenues back to the city in the future. So I just thought I'd point that out.
Great, thank you, Councilman Hernandez. Good points to make. Any other comments by council? Good. I'd like to just say a few words to address the citizens of Balcones Heights. Balcones Heights is writing a new chapter with a new police chief, city administrator, soon to be a new city secretary, new city attorney, new city prosecutor, and some other positions that are going to be looked at. We are setting the tone for a future built on accountability, transparency, and service. And you can already see the change. We secured a grant to renovate our community center for $850,000. We will find the distribution of those funds sometime in November, which will see the realization of that, which will have a very nice community center. Senior citizens can go to and have their potluck, something that we've never had before in the city. We had a community center, but not a senior citizen center, specifically for them. A place that will once again be a gathering space for our seniors, our families, and our kids. That's not just an investment in bricks and mortar. That's an investment in people. At the same time, we're renegotiating our role with Wonderland of the Americas. For too long, folks said it couldn't be done. But we're showing that with creativity, with persistence, we can turn challenges into opportunities. And here's the bigger picture. We're not just fixing buildings or signing agreements. We're reimagining how our city government works for you, how it can be more responsive, more transparent, and more focused on the future. So let's be clear. This is a moment of renewal. Balcones Heights is proving once again that small cities can dream big, and that when we do, we can achieve big things. I want to say thank you to all the council members for supporting the initiative of moving forward. God bless you, and God bless the city of Balcones Heights. Thank you. And I get a little emotional because we've made history today. We have made history. What we have done was said that it couldn't be done. And now we're starting with a clean slate. We're able to move forward with competent individuals that are degreed. They have the necessary skills to move this city forward while we're at the cusp of the change that is necessary to take place for this city to move forward into the future. And generations to come will be carried in this movement forward. So again, thank you all from the bottom of my heart.
It's easy to work for somebody who cares as much as you do, Mr. Mayor. I've lived here 72 years, and I mean, I saw him when he was mayor before, and we got somewhere. And I don't know why he didn't stick around, but he came back, and I hope he stays. And I'll support him as much as I can, because I've seen this place go up and down and up and down and around. So I'm really proud of what we've done, what we've accomplished. And I want the citizens to get more involved, like they're going to. I know they're going to. I just have to go kick them in the butt, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I just love this place. I've lived here all my life. What can I say? You know, I mean, I may have tried to move and get married, but I always came back unmarried and stayed home. So, but I raised my daughter, and now I'm raising all the cats. So I appreciate everybody's help out there. I hope I see y'all soon. And Johnny, congratulations, sir.
No, congratulations to y'all. You are the movers, you're the policymakers. I couldn't do it without you. Thank you, all of you. And I think that in closing, I was 27 years old when I got elected to council here. I was a young man. I'm 63 years of age today. In August, I turned 63. I became the first Hispanic mayor for the city of Balcones Heights. I ushered in the Super Target by going to school at Texas A&M, learning how to work economic development projects, brought in the Heart Hospital. We ushered that in, created about $150 million of wealth for the city, created an empowerment zone, and now we have a TERS zone, a TIF, which is next, and a city hall. So you guys are the result of this. I can only take so much credit. It is a result of a team effort, and we're family, all of us together working on the same thing that we're trying to achieve for the citizens of Balcones Heights. Because not only do we and are we elected officials, we live here. We pay taxes. We pay sales tax in our businesses here. We have a vested interest to see our city go forward. And that's what makes it so difficult and hard sometimes, but that's why we don't give up. We're still here, all of us. Thank you again. Maria, we look forward to all the wonderful things you bring forward. Ms. Trevino, we also do as well. We know Chief Cavazos is just bringing wonderful things. So with that, let's move forward. Let's not continue anymore. Let's move into the fire department update. Mr. Maratin, very quickly move forward and let us know what you got. We have some paperwork here from you.
Really, we're just moving along with trying to rearrange shifts with the departure of some of the guys. So we're just carrying on with business, and unless there's any other questions or anything anybody got from me.
Go ahead, Mr. Burton.
Just thank you for the, you were right on top of those two fires that we had. Great job. And saw the pictures, and you know, we've been told that, you know, we're not having police officers. In fact, tonight we were told that we don't have police officers on the street. And I would challenge to ask them if they've ever been refused a service of fire or police or Acadiana, and the answer is overwhelmingly no. So I just want to say thank you to both you guys, and good job. Good job.
Thank you. The police department did a very fine job, as well as the fire department. Thanks to all the firemen. Any other comments from the council?
May I be recognized?
Yes, sir, you may.
Just have a suggestion for Chief Marroquin, and that is to be more vocal, you know, for your department. You're the advocate, so anything that your department needs, you need to voice that to the council.
Okay. Well, thank you.
And Chief, if you can, just give them a briefing. We had another meeting. I think you're moving forward much more quicker and a little bit more detail on the emergency preparedness. I had a talk with the chief. We had a staff meeting. And one of the things that I've been pushing for very hard, in addition to all the other things that I'm working on, is to make sure, because of the times that have changed that we have in our world, not just in this city, of the propensity for terroristic activities, a shooting incident, where if it ever came time, we would have to look to where we needed to close the entry points and the exit points of our city. Being that we're in the city of San Antonio right around, it's important that we maintain control and avoid all the chaotic activity that would result if we had an active shooter or even a terroristic activity of some sort. So what I want it to be is proactive instead of reactive, working with our hospital, Methodist Hospital, in case, because see, they're a heart hospital, specialty hospital. They're not there for acute treatment of what we would see in a terroristic activity, even a hazmat chemical spill, that you would have mass exposure to our population. And so we need to work with them. And I met with the representative of the hospital, and they expressed an extremely good desire to get with us. And I'll introduce you to the gentleman who represents the hospital on that. He's excited. I think did I pronounce it? Strack. We're going to bring them in as well, and they will coordinate with us. And we're going to actually do something that no city has ever done before. We're actually going to close the city down. We're going to call a press conference. The chief will coordinate with the police department. It'll be momentarily, but it's going to be something that a small municipality has never done. And it will be the forefront to other municipalities, and they will follow along suit, you'll see. But it will show them, and our departments get stellar coverage for this, because they're going to interview them. They'll have people in a cot, like if they were injured, being moved, just like you see on the DWI. And it's an example of what schools do on a dry fire drill to prepare their students from any kind of injury, protection. Where do they go for coverage? That will be done here. And it'll be done on a scale that'll draw attention. And momentarily, we'll do redirect traffic for a while, just for a little bit till it gets done. We'll have news cameras here. They'll be highlighting our departments, and it'll all be good. But the main thing is our department will be ready to act. All of our departments, our hospitals will be ready to act. They'll know exactly what to do if anything was to happen in which we need to take care of our citizens. And that is, I think, paramount to giving them safety and delivery of core delivery services. So you just want to comment a few comments? Chief, as how you're moving forward. I think you spoke with the chief finally and got together.
Yeah, so I submitted a preliminary example of an emergency management scenario. And there's some changes I needed to make, so I'm working on those. And I submitted the initial copy to the police chief for
Good.
review, and we're gonna get together and see what works and see what doesn't, and then he can fill me in more on like his role and what he's comfortable with doing on that.
Fantastic. Chief Cavazos?
What I'd like to do is get with Chief Marroquin and actually do a tabletop exercise first
Okay, that's perfect.
and work out the details that way. And that
Absolutely.
way, once we get all the components in place, which would also include the Texan Heart Hospital, because there are immediate medical emergency services.
Good.
We can do the tabletop exercise and then move from that to an actual scenario.
Perfect.
So I've already spoken with Assistant Chief Nelms, and now that we have Captain Moore on board, we will implement those scenarios and get with the fire department, do the tabletop first, and that way we can work all through it and then proceed forward.
I'm the idea guy. You guys are the pros. I leave it in your hands. But at least we're getting started. That's the first step. Go right ahead, Mr. Burke.
And this includes weather events too.
Anything,
Yes.
any kind of catastrophic event that we have, we're in control. We're not scrambling. We're not running around. We know everything in place, and then that generator backup, that idea, we're already moving in that direction. So it's great. Ms. Weaver?
The hospitals sort of do that. We call it Dr. Gray,
Uh-huh.
and we have our little area where all of the people that are eligible that can, not the nurses that are taking care of patients, but everybody else goes there, and that's where they send you to the ER, to the OR, to the front, to the
Oh,
back,
great.
and you'll see people on stretchers, and you'll see, fake. I mean, it's all fake, but it's a good learning experience for somebody who doesn't know how to handle an emergency, and it's going to be nice for the citizens to see what they
Yeah.
can do, because everybody's talented. I mean, housekeeping and dietary, they were pushing patients around, so little things like that is going to really bring us together to make everything work out right.
Give a sense of security to the citizens, knowing we're being proactive as well. So that's great. Any other comments? Okay, so that finishes that. Nick, real quick, community development. You don't have anything, I'm sure?
There's a few things.
Okay.
I mean, 7001, the business park that's completed,
Okay.
just so everybody's up to date. Scooters Coffee off of Fredericksburg Road, that has started construction. So if you see anything over there, that's what's underway. As far as the road projects, Crestview 2 is fully complete. Crestview 3 is in a survey phase currently. So we're looking to get that started pretty soon here. I know we're getting quite a few complaints about the road currently and what state it is, so it will be worked on pretty soon. And then Hillcrest Road reconstruction, we're still talking with TxDOT and SAW. We're at a 60% completion there, so looking to move along forward there.
I think I can speak for the council, but I think Nick has done a phenomenal job since he stepped in, carrying the position and continue the good work. Recognition for you. Kudos. Keep up the good work with our department.
Thank you.
Mayor, I touched base with you and I've spoken with Nick on this. We need to start looking into when we're negotiating these roads that we get, I don't know if it's a industry standard, but the 1-year warranty on these roads are not doing us justice.
Good point, because we brought that up. Nick and I did discuss it. I think Jimmy has concerns with that as well. Do you yield?
I'll
Okay.
yield.
Mr. Hernandez?
So my understanding, we have like 3 areas that kind of collapsing or something, right?
Correct.
2. And so for Maria, if
The
you can,
manholes is what it
the
is.
manholes. So my idea is like whenever we're negotiating with these new contractors for the projects that are coming up, we should get them to throw that in to fix those as a pilon, you know? You understand? I don't know how to say it in English, but it's a
To make sure
pilon,
it's in
right?
the contract.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, and then that way we cut those expenses. Rather than us spending $60,000 for those manholes, let's just have them, if they want the bid, okay, this is your bid, okay, now throw these in, and it's just a little extra negotiation. That's my suggestion.
Excellent suggestion. Excellent suggestion. Anything else? Okay, we're moving on to now 26. Agenda item request by mayor and council members to be placed on any future council agenda. You can do those at any time you want, unless you have something right now.
May I be recognized?
Yes, sir, you may.
Um, I would like some input from police chief and if any other council members wish to chime in on placement of the marquee sign. We're running into issues. Nick helped me out a lot here with, we have a fire hydrant on one spot. We've got trees in other spots and viewing, pulling out onto Hillcrest on other spots. So any suggestions y'all would like to throw in the kitty, I would appreciate it. And this falls into the plan of moving people to the mall when this is truly a justice center, telling them, hey, not here, up there, or today's court day, because we're going to have one day, it's on a Monday evidently. So, today's court day, or coming up this Monday is court day, or Wednesday's is court day, so informing the public where the newsletter just can't be the only source, and pushing people to the mall for those events. Hey, this weekend at the mall, driving people to that mall. And that only behooves us financially, getting people up to that mall. Thanks.
Yes, thank you, sir. Anything else? Any council? Yes, sir, Mr. Eversole?
I would like to get the boundaries.
Okay.
That's because that was.
Nick, can you work with him to get that done? To establish the boundaries he has questions about on the containers? Okay. Can you run it through now that we have a city administrator in place, run it through her first? She then will delegate it to him.
That's the other.
Ms. Hernandez.
That's the other half of the containers is location of placement in the people's backyards or properties
Okay. Perfect.
for commercial, strictly commercial.
Done, Mr.
But
Eversole?
I think 5 feet would be better. That's what San Antonio.
All right. Mr. Hernandez?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, great. Let's make the motion to
Second.
adjourn. We have a second. All in favor? Any nays?
Aye.
Okay, great. And just a quick reminder, everybody, and I know it's tough to get used to it, but run everything through Ms. Hernandez. Maria, run everything through her. She'll delegate to staff. We'll now start following that principle. Anything you need, just run it through Maria. The time of the adjournment is 10:54 PM. All right.